ladies and gentlemen. You are with us, and we are the Lights Out Sports Podcast. Myself, Mike Valentine, my buddy Cheese, and of course, Battle Bites down there in the corner, one of our many sponsors we are adding to the show. We certainly appreciate all of you joining right along with us. Maybe we'll have another day like yesterday where we have a ton of comments, we talk to everybody, and we go from there. It was good yesterday. We liked it. How'd you like all those comments yesterday, Cheese?
It was great. It led to a lot of good discussion. We added to what we were talking about, and it's a good thing we did that show because this one would have been 4 or 5 hours long.
Right, we're already going to cut out the flaming 5 and 5, so we're gonna knock that out for a week just because we have so much to talk about. And speaking of so much to talk about, let's just go ahead and jump right in to the walk-up music.
You ready? 20 seconds start now. Ten seconds remaining. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, Cheese, we have got so much to talk about. We've got semi-breaking news for those of us who are old men and take a nap before we do the podcast and didn't even know this happened. It's breaking news for me. We'll talk about that first. We had another coach get fired today, so we'll talk about that one. You guys can, of course, go back to our YouTube channel and watch the show from yesterday. But when they get to our YouTube channel, Cheese, what are they supposed to do?
Well, what they're supposed to do is subscribe. You hit the subscribe button, and you can also turn on notifications. You can enable alerts, the bell, and that way you never miss one of our podcasts.
That's right. We're going to talk about the Washington Commanders. We're going to talk about Bobby Slowick. We're going to talk about what it means for a couple of those people from the Commanders. Something that only 6 teams of the 32 teams in the NFL have done. What is it? We'll talk about it. We're going to look at the wild card games, and then we might, I don't know, depends on how long the show goes, or we may do a complete separate show, so watch out for that. We do have the football awards that we're going to do here as well. We're going to look at the Fiesta Bowl and really dive deep. We're going to look at the Peach Bowl and dive even deeper into Indiana versus who the heck are they playing? Oregon. There we go. That's it.
It's been so long, you've already forgotten.
I know, and I've got notes in front of me, and I'm staring at it, and I still forgot. So I don't know. I don't know how this show's going to work out, man. We're all just yeah. But we've already got comments. We've already got all kinds of stuff, man. Okay. So I'll tell you what. Let's pause this music in the background, and let's get into the semi-breaking news. We'll call it senior citizen breaking news, right? Because, like I said, some of us had to take a nap. So we took a nap, and while we were taking our 2.5 or so hour nap, we had something crazy happen. Cheese, who was the latest guy in the NFL to get fired?
Baltimore Ravens moved on from their head coach of 18 years, John Harbaugh. It was rumored, but didn't happen yesterday, so a lot of people thought he was safe, but they decided to make a change. It's been a bit.
It's crazy, though. I was shocked when you said it. I thought maybe you were pulling my leg when we came on here, and you were like, "Yeah, did you see the John Harbaugh thing?" And I was like, "No," because I literally didn't see the John Harbaugh thing. I jumped up. My wife made me a little bit of food, so I snagged some real quick, and then I came running back here. So back to the pod cave, right? Ooh, what are we now going to be? What are we going to be? We're going to be what's the fancy term you just came up with us for us on off?
Yes. So podcasters is a term, people who podcast, but we're very sophisticated. So we're podists. Can you hear me?
Podists.
We are now podists.
Yes, we got you back, buddy.
Okay. Is it doing that thing again? Okay.
No, it's right the moment. We're good, sir. We're good.
Okay. Yeah, so we are podists. That's better than podcasters.
Pottis. I like it.
Yes.
I like it a lot. So what about that? At Joseph Brady 2183 says Lamar is next. What do you think about Lamar?
I disagree. He's too good. Like, I know he had a down year. He had some back issues, but if he's healthy, he's won 2 MVPs. And who else? And what's your alternative? Tyler Huntley? Cooper Rush? So, I just don't – you can't get value for franchise quarterback. He's not going anywhere.
So then does that mean they essentially pick Lamar over Harbaugh? Is that what that means?
I don't think they're mutually exclusive. I've heard the rumors they might move on from Lamar. I never believed them. I think they just – basically what happened, I think, is they lost to the Steelers. They played awful, and that was unacceptable. I think that was like the last straw. They won 13 games 2 years ago, couldn't beat the Chiefs in the playoffs, couldn't beat the Bills last year after winning 12 games, lost on a drop 2-point conversion. They just kept losing close games in the postseason, and it had been 13 years since he won the Super Bowl. And this was the year the division should have been easy. They should have won it easy, despite all their early season injuries, and they didn't. I think that loss to the Steelers, just horrible they played, and they still should have won. 44-yard kick. Even you can make a 24-yard kick maybe. So
I got a good nap in beforehand. That would have been good.
You need at least 3 hours for maybe a 30-yard kick maybe. So right. I think that's the main reason why they let him go. But it's a fascinating move. It has a lot. It will affect the Ravens. It will affect Harbaugh, and it will affect the whole league. If you want to get into that.
Yes, we will get into that. We'll continue to go down this topic here real quick. We didn't have any notes on this, so we're just kind of flying on to this one. But don't you think, Cheese, so you can say if you're the Ravens that, we didn't win, we're disappointed, we think we should have won, but at the same point, what are they getting around Lamar? I feel like Lamar has to go out there with a Superman cape on every Sunday and do crazy Lamar Jackson things like he's done in the past just to win games. Because, he's got one receiver and DeAndre
yes.
Hopkins who's on the field every once in a while. He's I know he's got a good running back, but there are so many different deficiencies that he's got. I don't know what the Ravens expect out of the guy.
Yeah, they have some flaws. Guard is a big problem. Their guards get beaten consistently with pass rush. Derrick Henry's amazing. He single-handedly won them some games. He beat the Packers pretty much by himself. Yeah, they need another receiver besides Zay Flowers. They extended Rashad Bateman. That was dumb. He's not very good. They have good tight ends if they're healthy. They're not always healthy.
And they catch the ball.
And they catch the ball. But the defense is bad. And so you have to outscore people, and there are games where they just couldn't. The defense, to me, is a big problem. It should have been a lot better than this. And Kyle Hamilton's amazing, but they, saved probably the best safety in the NFL. He's incredible, but the front seven was extremely disappointing. They do not get hardly any pass rush. There are drives where they don't even come close to touching the quarterback, and that's a huge problem. So pressure on Lamar to keep scoring.
And Casey, I'll get to your question here in just a second. I will put it up here. I'll wait till we're done with this Harbaugh talk, but I will put your question up here off of the chat. So, their defense was such a strength not 2 or 3 years ago. What the heck happened to their defense, Cheese?
Well, non-existent pass rush, and the cornerback play has dropped off as well.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I can now. Yes, we're back.
Okay. Yeah,
so the cornerback for a few seconds, but we got you.
Well, like I said, the pass rush, they used to have one, they don't have one anymore, and the cornerback room has underachieved this year. They're not covering and they're not getting pass rush, and that's a huge problem.
Okay. But with all the stuff that we're talking about, if I'm a Ravens fan, should I be happy with them moving on from Harbaugh? Do you think Harbaugh was the problem? Do you think this resets the Ravens? Why? Why should I be either happy or sad today with the firing of John Harbaugh?
I think it's going to be mixed. Hold on one sec. I'm plugging into the Ethernet. See if that helps.
Okay. Sure.
I think it's going to be mixed. he's very well liked, very well respected. And
in football as a whole.
In football as a whole, I don't know. This is the same thing I said about Mike Tomlin when I made a video before the season. Well, I defended Mike Tomlin. Like, who are you going to get that's better? Who are you going to get that will get that's better? And I don't know if the Ravens can get anyone that's better. But I think some people just want to change for a change. Some fans, it's been 18 years and they have disappointed in the playoffs, and they had a very disappointing season. So who are you going to blame? A lot of fans will blame the head coach. So I personally think every team that needs a coach is going to call him. And I think he can pretty much sit back and take one of these jobs he wants. And if not, he can go to TV for a year and wait and see if anyone wants a coach next year. And he can probably pick whatever destination he wants. 18 years, 180, 113, 13-11 in the playoffs in the Super Bowl. So that's a pretty good track record.
Hey, he's got a good resume.
Got a good resume. He is 63, but he's not 68, 69. He's 63, so he can still probably coach another decade.
Yeah, I would say he's got at least one more good 5-year contract in him, right?
Oh, absolutely. You can coach till 70 now, I think. I think, yes, early 70s now, he should be a problem. So, yeah, I don't know what he wants to do. That's the thing. He might just want to take a year off. But a lot of teams in the NFL are calling him. And like I said, he might be able to pick. If he wants to keep coaching, he might be able to pick where he wants to go. And I did a whole video about him on my YouTube channel at Football with Cheese, CHEEZ. So make sure you go check that out. I just released it about an hour ago.
All right, excellent. I will make sure that we link it up on our spot here as well. You can look at the show we did yesterday on all of the coaching firings. 2 more questions, Cheese, and then we'll jump and we'll go into the scripted stuff that we have for the day. Do you think he will take another coaching gig, or do you think he'll take a year off?
I don't know. I think the Falcons job may interest him. I just don't know. It'd be kind of cool if he went to the Raiders, because then the Harbaughs are in the same division. So we'll have 2 Harbaughs a year.
There you go.
I'm sure the Arizona Cardinals.
Go to Arizona and be in the same boat, right?
I was going to say, I'm sure Arizona's going to call. All of them are going to call. I just don't know if he loves any of these jobs. But like I said, he could sit and wait. He might want to wait a week and see if the Packers fire Matt LaFleur. I'm sure he'd pick that job over anywhere else. So, assuming that they wanted to hire him, you never know. So I don't know. But like I said, he'd be good on TV. So he could go for TV if he doesn't want one of these jobs.
I've always wondered if TV pays what the contracts are in the NFL, and if it does, like, why wouldn't you go to TV? Why would you put in all the long hours, and why would you stress yourself out, and why would you do all of those things unless you really love the game? Why wouldn't you just go to TV?
It's the competitiveness. They want to win. You want to show. You want your legacy. You want to win. And some coaches are like, "Oh, I'm never going back to coaching." Steve Mariucci's like, "I'm never going back to coaching. I got this great gig," and others just go right back. They take a year off and they're like, "Oh, I got to get right back."
Yeah, I mean, I think we win with this podcast all the time. So, it's great. All right, Cheese, you're back with us, right?
Yeah, did I crap out again?
Yeah, you fizzed out a little bit there for a second.
I don't know why it does that sometimes. I don't know.
I don't know. Well, I'm going to close a few of the windows that I've got open on my computer and see if that kind of frees up some stuff here. I'll do that here in just a second. But before we move on, Cheese, Casey asks you a question that may start a couple of fights over here. I don't know, but we have to click the show you button and you have to react, and maybe other people will react to this one too.
Is it about John Harbaugh?
No, it's not.
Well, quickly before we get to the question, I just want to say, what could the Ravens do now? They have to get a coach that runs. That at least if they get an offensive coach, it has to be a scheme that fits Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson's a great quarterback, but he does not fit every scheme. So Todd Monken, the offensive coordinator, could be a good internal option because he runs that offense. But I think Cliff Kingsbury would be a great fit for Lamar Jackson. Interesting if they bring him in maybe as a head coach candidate or offensive coordinator, but I think he'd be a great fit. And Jesse Minter, they need defensive help. So Jesse Minter, defensive coordinator Chargers, another possibility.
Okay. I like both of those a lot. And I really like the Cliff Kingsbury thing. We're going to talk about it. He is going to make my list that we will do at the end of the show. And that list is going to be the top 10 best available candidates to take over all of these suddenly open coaching jobs. What, 7 now, right, Cheese?
7. Yep. 7
Yeah.
openings. Okay. We
All
have
right.
a question from Casey.
We do. You ready?
I'm ready.
What? You don't want to answer this question? I mean, what is this? I mean, she's allowed to ask a question.
I'm shaking my head. No.
Oh, okay. So sorry, Casey, but keep coming back. Maybe it'll change. I don't know, but maybe that's what'll keep you coming back every week is to see.
Oh, there's no personal questions. It's only football.
Only football. Listen to this. Well, I'm sure he'll tell you. This means you got to be new to the show, or you'd know the answer to this question.
Cheese is a big hint. I am a Green Bay Packer fan.
All right, buddy. So let's go through some of the stuff that we are scripted to talk about here. Let's jump into our college football talk. But of course, before we do that, we got to make sure we got the right background, we got the right everything. So a lot of different things need to happen here. And again, you're having trouble. I'm having trouble over here. I can't get this thing to do what I want it to do. There we go. Now we're better. All right. So let's bring this back up to where it needs to be. There we go. And we'll click another button. And we're going to jump into our college football spread offense. Cue right there. I missed it.
What I miss?
I missed switching the background to the cue of the music.
Oh, I forgive you.
There we go. It was slow that time. I actually thought I had it, but I don't know what's going on here. All right, guys and gals. So today we are going to do our college football spread offense. And in the midst of doing everything else that we're doing, we will focus on these 2 college games. Got a lot of different questions. We'll look at it from a stat standpoint. And of course, we can't look at it from just the eye test because that's what our buddy Cheese does over here. I'm more the stat guy. He's more the eye test guy. We'll look at both sides of it. And then each game, we will pick a winner from. So let's go ahead and jump into all of that here. We'll do that right now. Cheese, let's look at the first game, which is the Fiesta Bowl. That's number 10 Miami versus number 6 Ole Miss. The college football semifinal. That's Thursday night, 7:30 Eastern on ESPN from State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. This place that I'm at will be absolutely bonkers here over the next few days because there's all kinds of people coming in here. The restaurants are packed. I'm just going to stay right here at the house and I'll watch it from the TV. If you lived here, or if one of these bowl games was close to you, Cheese, is it one of your bucket list things to go to one of these college football games as far as the semifinals or the playoffs or something like that? Where would you rank all that at?
I wouldn't say it's on my bucket list. I would go. Thing is, I don't know. It gets real expensive. Even if I had like millions of dollars, it still can get real expensive. But if I had really good seats, yeah, I mean, I'd go. But I wouldn't say it's on my bucket list. The one thing about I love being at games. I've been to football games, baseball games, but you get a lot. Technology, the replay system, you really get to see all angles of every play on TV. So I do like that aspect of it. Somebody who, obviously covers football now, it's much easier to cover it when you have when you watching the television.
Absolutely. Sure is. Now, not only have we done that, the computer system just completely shut down on me. I don't know if you can see I was typing, I'm re-logging into everything. I mean, this has been
fun stuff.
Craziness. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on here. So I've got to do a couple clicks here. I got to get back to where I'm going to be. Like we said, we are looking forward to this game. Obviously, I think it's going to be a really good game. And I want to see how you're looking at it, because I'm looking at these two games in two different areas, and I want to see if you're doing it the same way. The Miami versus Ole Miss game, I'm kind of looking at it as a battle of the underdogs. Would you consider this game the battle of the underdogs, like the two teams that aren't supposed to be here?
No, not necessarily. Miami was ranked number 2 at one point this season. Ole Miss only lost one game all year, and then they beat that team. So they beat everybody they played. So, no, I wouldn't necessarily say that. I'm not too surprised that they're in it. Honestly, we both picked Ole Miss to win. So, no, I wouldn't necessarily say that. What do you think?
Well, I mean, Ohio State's not here. Alabama's not here. Georgia's not here anymore. All of those teams that we expected to be in this situation are suddenly not here. And I think it's an interesting dynamic. I do think this is going to be a great game, but it's not necessarily the teams that we thought that they were going to be. I mean, there were people who were saying Miami shouldn't even be in this. There were upset people a few weeks ago.
Including myself, just based on the resume. I mean, they're definitely a top 12 team talent-wise, but based on the resume, I didn't think they should have been in, and they wouldn't have if Virginia had just beaten Duke like they should have.
Right? They should be sending some money over there to that program, right?
Yeah, probably not going to happen.
No, probably not. That's not NIL. That's not what we're talking about. But I do have to give Ole Miss credit. With the coaching uncertainty that they've kind of been surrounded by, they have played beyond my expectation. With that whole coaching deal with Ole Miss, have they played above your expectations?
Yeah, they have. I don't think I picked them in the playoff to start the season. I wouldn't believe in Georgia. I didn't pick Georgia to make the playoff. I thought Georgia would drop off. They obviously didn't look good. But yeah, Ole Miss, did I expect them to be Final Four? No, but there's talent on that team. There's no doubt about it. So a lot of offensive weapons, just a really, really good offense. So yeah, slightly surprised, but all 4 of these teams could win it. I feel strongly about one of them, but anyway, we'll get to
that. Okay. So now let's start dissecting everything, right? Let's look at it. Let's look at it from some of the numbers standpoint. I'm a stat guy. Mm-hmm. And I went through, and I just didn't look at regular stats this time. I tried to kind of dive in deep and dig into some of these things. But feel free to tell me if you want cheese that's like, really, these are you're digging this deep. You're looking at stuff like this. Let me give you one. Ole Miss is the number 4 team in the country in explosive play offense. Explosive play offense are rushes of 10 plus yards and passes of 20 plus yards. Is this one of those stats that like geeks just make up, or do you think this is something that we should really pay attention to and we should really use it in trying to figure out who's going to win this game?
This has become a stat in the NFL too that's just huge. And you can't just it's a good way to measure if you're going to consistently move the ball. If you get rushes over 10 yards, you get passes over 20 yards, you're going to put up points. It's proven in the NFL. Analytics has proven that. So, yeah, I think it's a really important stat. And Ole Miss, we'll talk about their question in a second. We'll talk about their offense more in a second, but they can beat you so many ways.
Ken, we do not. Well, you know what? I'll just throw it up here. And I'll say, learn to spell. Yeah. And here's the thing.
Yeah, just get him out of there. Don't. He's a Bears troll. He's all over my channel. He's a loser.
Is this a familiar person to you?
Oh, he's just comments on my channel all the time.
All right. That's fine.
Yeah.
Not a big deal. All right. But, if you're going to.
I live rent-free in his head. So.
Right, that's fine. But I mean, if you're gonna come on to a show and tell me how bad we are, you can at least spell the word "bad" right. All right, how about that, please? That'd be nice. So, anyway, Yeah, it has become a stat, and I like a lot of these. What are we going to call them? New age stats, as far as that part goes. And this is kind of one of them. Again, it's explosive play offense. Ole Miss is fourth in the country in it. It's rushes over 10 yards and it's passes over 20. Now they do this in like three ways. So Cheese, I want to talk about this a moment with you, and I want to do this because when people that are watching us right now or watching us later on a tape delay or something like that, they are watching the game later. They can actually look for some of these plays and go, yeah, that's what they were talking about. Oh, look, I see that. So they spread the other team out. First of all, what are we talking about when we say they spread the other team out?
Well, what Ole Miss likes to do is they like to play the receivers, very wide, close to the out of bounds line, right, and just spread them out. They also like to put the running back in motion a lot, and let's see if a team's playing man or zone. If the linebacker falls the running back, they're playing man, and then he might call one play if it's zone, one play if it's man. And just spread out the entire field. And it's a very, very difficult offense to play against, especially if you don't have a lot of time. If you play them week one, okay, you have all off season, because it's a hard offense to replicate in practice. So to practice against. Tennessee as well. They also run plays every 20 seconds too. So it's basically a no-huddle offense. They just keep running plays. It's very tiring on the defense. So it's really hard to play this kind of system. It's terrible for draft analysts because no one in the NFL runs anything like this. So it's hard to evaluate some of these Ole Miss and Tennessee players. And now it'll be LSU. We're running it too. But, they just completely spread you out, wide receivers, tight ends, running backs, and make you pick man or zone, make you commit and run plays according to that. Sometimes they get out quick. Sometimes they go down the field. Just totally use the whole field and spread you out.
So then does your I don't want to – yes, I am going to go ahead and say it this way. Does your quarterback not have to be as smart then? I mean, we've seen the Mannings and stuff of the world who sit behind the line. They get right up to the line, and then they start dissecting. They know who's coming, and they'll change a play accordingly, or they'll point out a guy. He'll stuff like that. So in this type of an offense – do you not have to be that smart? Do you, it's like, okay.
You don't have to be necessarily, but it also is huge if it's a dual threat quarterback like Trinidad Chambliss, because he can run too. That gives you a whole nother element. So they can do more read option. There's just so many things. Lane Kiffin's did such a good job designing this offense around these players. And there's just so many. The quarterback could run. He could hand the ball off to Quan Lacey, who's amazing. He's got two really good wide receivers, that he can throw the ball deep. There's just so many things you can do. And so it's very tough to – like Georgia's saw them early this year, beat them. Then they had 3 weeks to prepare, assuming – I mean, let's be honest, they weren't looking at Tulane film.
Yeah.
And they still struggled. And they still – one of the hottest defenses in the country still could not stop them. It's just really, really difficult to play this type of offense.
And that's a real big advantage for Ole Miss, right? I mean, and you really can't do anything about it because Ole Miss dictates what they do, not the other team, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's definitely been working. And that Georgia defense, the last 4 games have been just completely shutting people down, and they couldn't do anything.
All right, so I would say that Ole Miss is going to utilize their speed because Miami has 2 of the best rushers in the world, right? Ruben Bain Jr. and Hakeem Messador, right?
Sure.
Yeah, sure. We'll go with that.
I'm not the person to ask for names, but I'll let you mess it up, and then I say sure.
All right. I appreciate it. Thank you for that, buddy. I can spell them right. It's spelled right in the notes, right? And I know some people can't spell when they try this. But anyway, do you think that's a good plan by Ole Miss? And I'm sure you've gone back and watched the tape. I actually went back and I watched the Ohio State Miami game twice. And I don't watch the first half because that was just awful. As an Ohio State fan, I'm just like, oh my God, no. But when they came back out the second half, they just went fast and fast and fast. And the 2 guys that are rushing so much that made such a whole lot of disruptions look like they're getting tired. Do you think that Ole Miss is going to use a similar strategy to try to negate that rush that Miami has from those two players?
No, absolutely. They're going to try to wear him down, run play every 20 seconds, quick passes, a lot of quarterback run play options. Because Miami's got a great defensive line, no doubt about it. Miami's just one of those teams that maybe they're really, really good and they can win it all. Or maybe Ohio State just played bad. It's one or the other. Either Miami's really, really good or Ohio State had those 3 weeks off, like a lot of top 4 seeds, and just came out flat and laid a brick. I don't know which one. I wish I knew. Make it easier to pick. I still don't know who I'm picking in this game. But yeah, Reuben Bain Jr., he's probably going to be a top 5 pick. Top 10 for sure. He is a monster. He's big too. He's big and athletic. So they're going to run a lot of quick passes, runs. They're going to try to establish a run. That's what Ole Miss likes to do. And then do run RPOs off that play action off of that. That's what they want to do. And it worked last week against Georgia.
Yeah, so I remember we were texting each other back and forth, right? And I said it last week. I said Georgia's defense is overrated. And you were kind of looking at me like, really? You think their defense is overrated? And I think it kind of turned out that they were. Ole Miss put up 473 total yards on them. 362 yards and 2 touchdowns from Chambliss and another 98 yards and 2 more touchdowns from Lacey. So knowing that Ole Miss averages 30-plus points a game, and that was that performance that we're looking at more about Georgia's defense being overrated, or was it more about Ole Miss's offense being underrated?
Probably more about Georgia being overrated. But a lot of it's about matchups. And Georgia just doesn't match up well against this type of offense. They gave up 41 points to Tennessee, similar offense. And they were losing by 9 points to Ole Miss at home, game they won, earlier this year. Like, they have trouble with this style. Their defense isn't built well to handle this. They pretty much, the rest of their games, their defense looked amazing, except when they faced this style of offense. So, Georgia's a little overrated.
If you were to rank the 4 quarterbacks left in the college football playoff, would you have Carson Beck at a clear number 4 like I do?
Absolutely.
Beck is also accused by many, including myself, of dropping in competition from the SEC to the ACC just to get more money. He did get more money, $3+ million, but this game allows him the opportunity to get more respect. What do you think is going to happen?
Well, he left because he lost. He left Georgia because he lost his job. Gunnar Stockton beat him out because he wasn't good enough. Carson Beck he reminds me of like a Jared Goff or a Sam Darnold. Most of the games, he looks amazing. He looks like a Heisman Trophy winner. And then 2 or 3 games, you're like, what are you doing? You're just terrible. I'm not saying he's going to be good as Goff or Darnold. No, in pros, I don't think so. But I'm just saying he's a college equivalent. He, at any time, and he did this at Georgia, could just have this horrible game, throw all these turnover-worthy plays and just blow it. Sometimes he just doesn't see the defense well. I don't understand it, but he just does. If you get the good Carson Beck, he looks like a first-round pick. You get the bad, he looks like undrafted free agent. So he left because he lost his job, and I guess Miami offered the most money because they lost Cam Ward. But yeah, if he wins this game, plays well, he'll get more respect. It will help his draft stock for sure.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I think he'll be a big focal point, whether good or bad in this game. We've talked about Ole Miss and a lot of their stats. Let's look at Miami and some of their defensive stats. We said earlier, Miami's got a really good defense, or Ohio State just played really bad. We weren't sure, right? So Miami's defensive stats, points per game allowed, 13.1, which is 4th in college football. They only gave up a combined 17 points to Texas A&M and Ohio State. Cheese, is Miami's defense for real?
Yeah, it's a very good defense. It's funny, they just weren't good for like 2 games all year, and they lost those games. Just in the middle of the season, they kind of went to sleep. But yeah, their defense, it's legit.
Okay. So let me give you a few more of their stats here. So total yards per game allowed is only 285.1. That's 10th in college football. If you break it into passing and rushing, the passing yards per game is 201, which is 40th. So they're not up there in the top 10 like all the rest of their categories are in passing, but they are in rushing. They're 5th. They only give up 84 yards on the ground per game. And we talked about it earlier. This is going to be, I think, what's going to make the difference in this game. Miami's defense is 22nd in college football. They've only allowed 43 plays all year long that are 20-plus yards. And we talked about that stat earlier, where it is explosive play offense. So I think if Ole Miss can get a few of those, they'll win the game. And if they don't, I don't think they do. And then the last thing I want to look at is sacks per game. Miami gets 3.3 sacks per game. That's 3rd in college football. So they're coming after you. It's going to be a really big battle between the defense of Miami and this offensive prowess of Ole Miss. Miami is a 3.5-point favorite. The over-under is 51.5. So, Cheese, who wins and goes on to challenge for the national title?
I don't know. This is a fascinating matchup because Miami's been so good the last 2 weeks. But this is a different type of offense. This is a really tough offense to, like I said, practice, to scheme for. And I could see Miami winning by 14, and I could see Ole Miss winning by 14 because Miami can't stop them. But I could see Miami getting stops, and then, because they're going to score some points. Ole Miss's defense, it's not a great defense, so they're going to give up some points. The key is Miami can't give up 30-some points. If they give up 38, 34, 38, they're in trouble. So Miami 3.5-point favorite. I'm gonna pick the winner to advance.
Are you're going to pick the winner to advance? I mean, did you think I wouldn't catch that? Come on now.
I don't know what to do. I can see both sides. I can see it going. I don't even know if it'll be close. I feel like the winner's going to win by 2 scores. I could see it going both ways. Give me Ole Miss. Give me Ole Miss because if anyone can beat Miami's defense, it's them. So give me Ole Miss to cover the spread and win and go to the national title. What about you?
Interesting. I'm not sure if Miami can do this 3 games in a row. I believe they've overachieved now for 2 games in a row. It's really hard to ask a team to continually overachieve. When we talked about that stretch that Alabama had in the middle of the season where they beat all of those really good SEC teams back to back to back, and we were like, wow, that's impressive. This would be impressive if Miami can do this and can play what I would think is better football than Miami really has all season long for a 3rd straight game. Momentum is a funny thing. And the other part of this that we haven't really talked about yet, I mean, I hinted to it earlier, is I think there's a really big dynamic here, and we don't know what's going on behind the scenes at Ole Miss. Who's coaching them? Who wants to coach them? Are they really getting the proper film study and all of this because of all this stuff that's going on between, who's going to LSU and who's staying behind? And if you're staying behind, do you really like these kids? And are you just doing it for a paycheck? And I mean, there's this whole dynamic behind there. I'm going to put it to you this. Go ahead.
Okay. No, I just want to point one thing out. This is the best thing that could ever happen to Ole Miss for future years, because the transfer portal, a lot of players in Ole Miss, because they're doing well and they're still there, they have re-signed contracts. They're staying, like Kawan Lacey, like Trinidad Chambliss. They're staying. They're not transferring to LSU. So if they had been one and done or just missed the playoffs, they might have lost these players. So going this far is really, really going to help the program moving forward.
So I'm going to tell you that I want Ole Miss to win, but I think Miami is going to win. I'm gonna pick Miami, and I think it's going to be close. You said that you could see one blowing out the other one. I don't think that's going to happen. I really think this is going to be like a boxing match. You're going to get body blow after body blow, and it's going to go back and forth and back and forth. and I can't wait to watch this game. In fact, I'm a little tired now because I wanted to make sure I got all my work in the beginning of the week, so at the end of the week I can concentrate on these two games. So I can't wait for this. I am going to pick Miami. Like we said, they are, let's see here, let me make sure. Miami's a 3.5-point favorite. I will pick them to cover that. And I would take the over, by the way, on the over-under, 51.5.
I absolutely would take over as well. So, yeah, okay. So, we big tick different. Well, I just want to mention this, and I touched on it a second ago. The top 4 seeds in back-to-back years are 1-7. Indiana over Alabama, and Alabama was a total fraud. That's the only team in the top 4 seed to win. Take 3 weeks off, you come out flat. Texas Tech gave you nothing. Ohio State gave you nothing early in the game. Completely flat. Last year, some of those seeds just – Oregon, awful last year. Number 1 seed, undefeated. So they need to change this format because it's not rewarding these teams. It's better to be like the 5 or 6 seed. The 5 and 6 seeds are just – they're still in this. So they need to – and that shouldn't be the way it is. So they need to change this system. That's a video for another day. But I just want to mention that it really hurt the Oregon last year, really hurt Ohio State this year. Teams that a lot of people thought would win it all, and they're gone like that.
Right. All right. So in between these two games, I want to bring up this. We'll talk about this real fast here. So according to the New York Times, this is up on our X spot, All Gloves Off SM on X, Twitter, Twix, whatever you want to call it now. It's over there. You can certainly see this as well. This is the cost of doing business in the NIL world of college football. So if you're trying to get some players and you need some players for certain spots, let's say you need some safeties. Well, the New York Times is saying it's going to cost you between $250K in NIL money and $900K to get a good safety. If you want a cornerback, it's going to cost you between $250K and $1 million to get a good corner on your team. If you want just wait. This is nothing yet.
Okay.
If you want an interior defensive lineman, something that probably a lot of people out there don't think is real important, but I think both of us realize the importance of, $500K to $1.5 million for one player, by the way, one good player. If you want an edge rusher, they get a little more expensive, $500K to $2 million. If you want a tight end, $300K to $900K. Let's just go out and buy all the tight ends, man. They're the cheapest thing on the market right now. The wide receivers, $500K to $1 million. The running back, again, a devalued position, $400K to $900K. So not even $1 million for a good running back, even though I think a running back is a lot more important in college football than it is in the NFL. Offensive tackle, $600K to $1.3 million. I was a little surprised about that. The offensive tackles are up there in money. And if you want a really good quarterback this year in NIL, it's at least $1 million, and it might cost you up to $4 million. What do you think about some of those numbers, Cheese?
Well, you mentioned offensive tackle. They're protecting the quarterback. So they're going to get paid more. It's just a more valuable position. You have to keep your quarterback upright. Your quarterback gets hurt, you're in trouble.
Right. They're protecting your $4 million asset, right?
Yeah. It's insane. And that tells me with the quarterbacks, like, unless you're a guaranteed top 10 pick or top 15, you're going to make more money in college. So what I think a lot of these quarterbacks are going to do is, or their people or their coaches can reach out to NFL teams. Mm-hmm. Would you take him if he's there? We're going to start getting like guaranteed. Okay, if you're in the top 5, I'll take you. Like teams guaranteeing that. They could be lying. Who knows? Like, will you take me if I'm there? That's going to change the whole draft. But that's the way it's going to be. Because if you're a quarterback and no one in the top 10 is going to take you and you get $4 million offer, yeah, just stay in college because you can improve your stock and you're going to get paid more. So,
right.
Yeah. And yeah, you mentioned even safeties can make $950,000. So if you're not a top 50 pick, you're not going to make that. You got to be top. You got to be like late second round. So if you're going to be a 4th or 5th rounder, just go back to college.
Yeah, I saw where Sam Levitt's contract that he signed for 1 year of NIL money is greater than Shedeur Sanders' entire a rookie contract in the NFL, which covers what,
Fifth
4
round
years
pick.
and a fifth-year option, right?
No, just 4 years. 5th round pick gets just a 4-year standard contract.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Shadur Sanders, if he had any eligibility left, I don't know if he did. He would have been better off staying big time. Obviously, he was not supposed to fall that far. Is Levitt going to Texas Tech? Did I read that correctly?
Yeah, looks like he's going to Texas Tech.
He should be able to transfer in conference without a penalty, but that's a story for another day.
Well, I don't want to do this right at the moment, but there is. So I've gotten a little bit of inside information from a couple people that I know here locally. I think the story is going to eventually come out. There's more to this story about the relationship between Kenny Dillingham and the quarterback. His name just slipped my brain.
Sam Levitt.
Sam Levitt, thank you. Yeah, there's more. There's he didn't go to the banquet. Sam Levitt didn't do any of that stuff. He didn't participate in the end. I don't want to get into it right at the moment.
Do you think he was asked not to? Like, go away? Like, we don't want you anymore? Do you think it was, oh, okay. Wow. Okay. We'll both do more research. We'll talk about this later on, I'm sure.
Okay, sounds good. But I'm going to tell you, there is more to the story. So fans, if we don't get a chance to do it right away and it comes out, trust me, there's more to this story. That's what I'm hearing kind of under, as little whispers here in Arizona, is that there's more to this story, and it's probably going to come out, but it won't come out through Kenny Dillingham. He is not that guy. He doesn't want to spread all that negativity. So, but I'm sure somebody will get a hold of it and they'll bring it all to light. So,
and Arizona State got the Kentucky quarterback, so they'll be fine.
Yeah, they're not real worried about it. In fact, Arizona State has gotten like 5 or 6 people to transfer into them. Wide
got some
receivers.
Yeah, they needed some receivers. So yeah.
So they're doing really well in this transfer portal. Here's kind of where I was going with all of this. Dante Moore, let's say he beats Indiana. And if that happens, his draft stock is going to go through the roof. But is he going to come back to Oregon simply based on the NIL money that he can make? And I got to throw this out there. The fact that he would probably be taken by the Jets.
Yeah. Did you see Todd McShay's clip about that?
Yes.
Okay. So Todd McShay, anyone watching, used to work for ESPN. He knows a lot of people in the NFL. It is a podcast about the draft. And
it's not as good as yours, but it's still a podcast.
No, it's not as good as mine. I do like him. I actually watched him before I started mine just to get some ideas. But he knows a lot of people in the NFL, and he said that none of these quarterbacks want to play for the Jets, and that Dante Moore, his people are probably going to reach out to the Raiders, and if they say they're going to take him, then he'll go pro, and if they say they're taking Mendoza, then he'll just come back to Oregon because he just does not want to be a Jet. That no quarterback wants to be a Jet. Look at their track record. They don't develop quarterbacks at all. It's just, and it's a lot of people don't want to live in a big city like New York. It's a disaster there. So, do I think he'll come back? I actually do think he's going to come back if he doesn't win the national title. I think Oregon has enough money to entice him to come back. So I think Ty Simpson's coming back too. I think a lot of people who need quarterbacks in the draft are going to be really disappointed. I think Mendoza will come out, and I think that's it. It's like the big time quarterbacks. Can you hear me?
All right. So you said I think Mendoza will come out, but then you kind of.
I think Mendoza will come out, but that's the only projected first round pick quarterback that will come out. We already know like a bunch of quarterbacks have already decided to stay. So I think he might be the only quarterback taken in the first round.
I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but I don't want to put you on the spot either, even though I kind of sort of am here. So Trinidad Chambliss has to get the okay to go back to school. Why? Do you know that situation and why he has to get that? Or
I just know he has to apply for it. I heard that he's expected to get it, that it's not an issue. It's his 6th year. So I don't know the details, but he is expected. I know he played for not in the FBS, like an FCS school or Division II or something.
Right.
So I don't know if that factors in it, but from what I read, his people, at least at Ole Miss, expect to get another year, but it's possible it is denied and then he would have to go pro.
So let me give you a Jet stat here real quick, because I'm a stat guy. I love this stuff. I saw this stat and had to do a double take because this is crazy. Wait, just wait. I can't wait. I'm going to focus on you. I'm going to look at you when you get this. So I'm even going to hold the paper over here so that I can read the paper with one eye and watch you with the other eye. What cup do you got there, buddy? It's like mud check time.
It says coffee, but it's water. But
okay, so
sometimes I put
advertisement.
Coffee. Yes, yeah. It's the it's the mug that's not in the washer.
Okay. The Jets have trailed by double digits in 53% of their snaps this year. That is crazy. They've trailed, not just trailed, they've trailed by double digits in 53% of their snaps. So when you get the ball as a Jet and you're trying to score, over half the time you're already down by double digits.
And it starts 0-0. You always start the game tied.
Yes.
So it's really hard to do that. You have to get down quick. That means they're down by double digits before the half in most games. Yeah. And I got more stats for the Jets just offhand. Did you know the Bills rested all their starters and they still got blown out by the Bills? So their starters are worse than the Bills' backups. But I think the craziest stat I've ever seen as far as defense, they did not intercept a pass once this year. Not one pass. And I also saw, this is my favorite team, bad stat, only two teams didn't have any return yards off interceptions, the Packers and the Jets. So the Packers had interceptions, but they never returned a single yard. They either fell down or just didn't return any yards. So that's another step. But how can you go even like a tipped pass here or there? A ball off a receiver's hands bounces into someone else. Like that should happen at least like every 5 or 6 games. How can you go 17 games without getting an interception? I think they've only had 4 takeaways all year. They've got 4 fumbles, 4 takeaways in 17 games. It's awful.
And if you remember right, the defense was what the Jets were going to hang their hat on.
Yeah, defense.
Okay, our offense might not be great, but we got an above average defense. And I look at them and go, really? Do you? Really?
2022 and 2023, they had great defenses those years. No offense whatsoever, so they didn't win. And then the defense the last 2 years has collapsed. And they did trade Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams in the middle of the year. They're 2 best defensive players, but still pathetic. And the Jets and Browns, just like they're going nowhere right now. But that's a story for another day.
Right. So let's get back on track here. The Peach Bowl, Indiana versus Oregon. That's the Friday game, 7:30 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. It is from the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. So you kind of know where this first question's going. I asked you earlier if you thought that the Ole Miss Miami game was a battle of underdogs. I would say this one is a battle of champions. These are the 2 teams in Oregon and Indiana that the odds makers are saying have the greatest odds to make the championship game. And yet here they are playing and one of them's going to get knocked out. So do you see this as a championship match or Cheese, in other words, do you think this game will be better than the actual college football playoff game that we'll see?
I like this question. I thought about it a lot. No. I actually was thinking, what if each team was playing the other? Who would I pick? And I would actually pick Miami and Ole Miss to beat Oregon. So if I was picking, I don't necessarily think it's a huge difference, but who would I pick if Ole Miss played Oregon? I would probably take Ole Miss. And who would I take if Miami's playing Oregon? I would probably take Miami. So I actually think Oregon might be – I mean, these are 4 really good teams, but I think they might be the 4th best of them. So not necessarily. I think Oregon played a team that just came out flat. They could not get any – the offense was a disaster. And a lot of the scoring was because of the defense, or Texas Tech's offense, just kept giving them stuff. So I don't think that, even though the score looks really lopsided, I don't think Oregon's been all that great in their 2 games. I don't think they've looked like a team that can win a championship. So one thing I totally missed about Texas Tech, and I shouldn't have picked them, is how bad their offense really was. They were one of the worst red zone teams all year in college football. They just won games because you couldn't move the ball on them. at all. That's why they won. That's why they kept winning by so much. Their defense was just so dominant. But I forgot how their offense really wasn't all that great, and they kicked so many field goals. It didn't get a lot of touchdowns. But yeah, to me, I just don't think Oregon has looked as good as the other three.
So this question, I'm kind of leading to the next question, but I reworded this question like 4 or 5 times. And I think a lot of times, at least from my standpoint, you were talking earlier, about how people want to, we need to be the best. And we were kind of joking about, are we good at this? Are we good at this podcasting? And you gave us a little nickname and everything else, right? I know that you take pride in your NFL segment, right? You go through and you make really good questions and you do your research and you do all of those things. And I was doing the same thing. And I think when you come up with a really good question and you have to reword it like 4 or 5 times, because it's like, okay, I want this question to be perfect. For me, out of everything that we're going to do here on this show today, it's this question. And I'm going to be, I know I say this like 3 or 4 times in every podcast. In fact, I got mocked. There's going to be a meme of me before too long saying, well, I'm curious to see your reaction, because I say it in every podcast, right? But I really am. I'm curious to see your reaction, Cheese, and get your answer. Do you think Oregon needs to change what they do to beat Indiana, since they've lost to them once already? Or should they still believe in what they do and just concentrate on doing that flawlessly?
The latter. They're going to concentrate on what they do and try to do it better, try to execute better. They lost at home by 10 to Indiana this year. Mm-hmm. And that game was really telling. A lot of people I think Pat McAfee was the only one on the crew to pick. Everyone thought Oregon at home, Oregon's better. But they got 30 points to Indiana. They can't do that. They actually scored 20 in India. That's pretty good. But no, they're just going to have to try to execute better, get a lot of yards after catch, don't turn the ball over, and they have to get some stops. They can't give up 30 points. But all of that's going to be really tough. But I don't think they change who they are. I think they stay true to who they are.
Because I think sometimes sports teams and I think sometimes that the coaching staff gets enamored in, okay, we're going to stop them from doing this. But that's just not what they do best. And they're changing their whole scheme around another team. I'm a little worried that Oregon's going to try to do that. This game for me is going to prove a lot for my opinion of Dan Lanning. Last week, Dan Lanning just kept going for it. Oh, it's 4th and 1 on the 3. Yeah, we can punch it in the end zone. We're going to do it. Right?
Take the points. That. Yeah. He wouldn't take the points. There was a bunch of 4th downs he didn't get.
I'm screaming at the television. What are you doing? You're going to screw around and lose this game. Now, obviously they didn't, but I kept thinking, like you just said, take the points, man. What are you doing?
You're facing a really good defense. What do you just take the points?
Yes.
And they're facing another really good defense.
Correct. How is he going to call this game is going to be interesting to me. And you said it. They did score on Indiana. And if you remember from the first meeting, they missed a field goal as well. So they should have scored more. So can they continue to score on them? And what kind of decision are they going to make when they have the opportunity to score? All right, guys, I'm going to admit it. I've doubted Oregon all year. I'm going to say it. Oregon fans, you should probably record this. I have. I've doubted this team all year. But I really went back through and I looked at a few things. I dug deep into Oregon. I dug deep into these 4 teams a lot more than I have so far this season. But consider this, Cheese. The last 4 teams that Oregon has lost to: Georgia in the 2023 college football playoff, Washington, who went on to win the college football playoff that year,
Ohio. No, they finished second. Washington finished second.
That's right. They went on to play for, but they didn't win. Thank you for the correction. Yeah. You're right.
They lost to Michigan. Yeah.
Ugh, gosh, what'd you have to bring them up for?
It's true.
Because it's true. Okay. Ohio State, right, when they went to the college football playoff as well, and now they've lost to Indiana, who is 1 win away from playing for that college football playoff. I've doubted Oregon all year. I'm starting to turn on them. You said that earlier I would pick Miami to beat them. I would pick Ole Miss to beat them, right? That's what you said earlier?
Yeah.
You're doing the same thing I've been doing. You're doubting Oregon.
I don't think I'm doubting Oregon. I just think the other teams are a little better. Oregon just has not really impressed me in those two games. I know they won by a lot in both of them, but still, like you said, they do a lot. They don't get a lot of fourth downs. They're not always executing. They're not always doing the little things. And if you don't execute, you don't do little things in Indiana, you are totally screwed. And I just, like you said, you have doubted them, and I get why you have. They just never seem to, I like them. They're good. They're good on offense, good on defense. I just don't think they're great, and they don't always execute when they should. So, to me, I just don't. I think they're I don't think it's a big drop off. I just think they're the worst team left, but it's close. But yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna prove some of this. I've got a couple stats here, right? Oregon runs the ball well. We both know this. 16th in college football, but Indiana is just stellar against the run. So for Oregon to win, I believe Deontay Moore will have to outplay Heisman Trophy winner Fernando Mendoza. Do you think he can do that?
He can. Will he? Probably not. I mean, he's capable. Yeah, he'll have to outplay him and maybe then some, because Indiana has a better defense than Oregon. So, yeah, he'll have to. He'll have to have an amazing game. No turnovers.
But this is exactly what we're talking about, right? You have to. Deontay Moore is looked at right now as the number 2 quarterback if he comes out. He'll be probably the second quarterback taken in the draft.
And you never know. He could be drafted ahead.
We're saying.
Yeah, you never know. But yeah.
You never know. I mean, the draft process is long from point A to point B. I get that. But that's kind of where I think he's at as we talk about him right now. He's probably number 2 behind Mendoza. But we're acting like he's a terrible quarterback, like he's not going to get picked in the first 5 rounds. And
oh no, he's good.
We're going to disservice with all this kind of things that we're talking about here.
No, he's really good. It's just you're outplaying the Heisman Trophy winner. Has been the most efficient quarterback in the country. When they played, he had Deontay Moore had 2 interceptions in the game. His stat line, I pulled it up: 21 of 34, 186, only 186 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Mm-hmm. That's not good. That's not very good. You can't do that and expect to win against Indiana. In fact, they're probably lucky that they didn't get blown out. And Oregon, they only ran for 81 yards on 30 carries. Yep. See, they're going to have so much trouble running against Indiana. So it's going to be up to more. I think you nailed it. Mm-hmm. They run the ball well, but they're probably not going to be able to run Indiana's defense. So they're going to have to throw, and Moore has to have an incredible game. And like you said, if he does 3 touchdowns, 300 yards, and they win or something like that, then yeah, he could absolutely go number 1. It could help his draft stock, and then he'd get a whole nother game if they were to win, and it could only help him, but unlikely.
Right, but I think if he does do that, like I said earlier, if they find a way to win this game, and it's on the arm of Deontay Moore, then now you're going to have controversy. NFL teams are going to be like, well, we're not sure, because we keep hearing rumblings too. You spoke about it in the show we did yesterday, that Mendoza is a system quarterback, right? So is he really going to be able to make it in the NFL? Does he move well? And I can tell you one of the things that I even went back and I looked at some of the games here in the college football playoff, and I saw a couple things that other people I've read have seen. He pats the ball before he throws it. It's like a telltale sign. And if you watch the linemen, they know when it's coming. They know when to get their hands up. And he's had some batted balls and stuff like that. So I do think there are some things that he needs to work on.
Absolutely.
But if Deontay Moore has a really great game here, his draft stock is going to go through the roof, and you're going to have teams going, okay, do we take Moore? Do we take Mendoza? Who's number 1 on our board? Stuff like that. But if he gets beat again, I think there's a really good shot that he stays behind, he stays in school, and he comes back to Oregon for his senior season. Moore has 28 to 8 touchdown to interception ratio in the regular season. But since he's been playing better competition, and we both know that's what happens when you get into these playoff type scenarios, you play the better teams. As you've already said, you alluded to this, he's thrown 3 interceptions actually in the college football playoff. He also didn't throw a touchdown, even though they beat Texas Tech. Correct. Indiana is second in opponent point per game, and third against the run, and 21st against the pass. I think the only chance that Oregon has to win this game is they've got to attack them with the pass, and that means Moore has to be great. But, and here's the but.
Okay.
All the pressure is on Indiana. Everybody, 90% of the country is expecting Indiana to win this game. And so far, they've handled the pressure well up to this point. Do you think that will continue on Friday night? Do you think Indiana continues to handle this pressure as it mounts and mounts and mounts, and they deal with it the right way and have a chance to beat Oregon on Friday?
Yeah, I do. Indiana, they're probably the most consistent team in the country. Nothing has been too big for them. They've looked great all year, and I expect them to come out and play well. And what they did to Alabama was just incredible. They just absolutely dominated that game. And I have the game from earlier this year between Oregon and Indiana pulled up. They also sacked Dante Moore 6 times in that game.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. So, Oregon's got to protect him better. But you're right. That's the key. They got to protect him. It's Dante Moore is the key to this game. He's got to play well, not turn the ball over, and they can't let him get sacked. And then they'll have a shot.
All right, let's look at Oregon's defensive stats real quick. We focused a lot on Indiana's. Oregon has a pretty good defense, too. In points per game allowed, 15.1. That's 6th in college football. Total yards per game, 267.4. Again, 6th in college football. Passing yards, they defend the pass well, 156.6. That's 4th in college football. Notice 6, 6, and 4. As far as rushing the football goes, they dropped down a little bit to 19th. They're 110.8. And then those 20-yard pass plays that I love so much that I focused on both of these games, they've only allowed 36, has Oregon. They don't give up big plays, and that's 4th in college football. So let's look at the actual line here. Indiana is minus 4.5. The over-under is 46.5. Cheese, who wins and goes on for the national title?
Give me Indiana to cover the 4.5 and win somewhat comfortably. Not a blowout, but yeah, give me Indiana. They're just so good. They're just so good. I don't see Oregon winning this game. What about you?
I'm going to say the same thing, but I also said the same thing when Ohio State was there. Like, I didn't think there was any chance in the world Ohio State was going to lose to Miami. And obviously they did. So we said, and ladies and gentlemen, this is true. You can take this one to the bank, right? If Moore plays well, then Oregon's got a good shot. But if he doesn't, this game's going to be over by halftime. I don't think Moore's going to play extremely well. I think Indiana will get to him. And to be honest with you, I think Indiana's going to win by double digits here before this game is done.
I can see that. Yeah.
I'm going to go, and I think they're going to score a lot. And I think they want to make a point because I still think Indiana looks at it as they're the island of misfit toys, and they want to gain some respect. So I don't think they're going to stop. I really don't. I think Curt Cignetti is not going to call the dogs off, even though they get up double digits. I think he's still going to continue to go and continue to score and prove we are Indiana. We are the best team in the country, and they'll prove it on Friday night. They're going to beat Oregon 35-17.
No, 35-17. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Big points there.
Okay. I'm going to go. I'll give you a score. I don't like doing scores, but I'll give you a score. I'm going to go 26-17.
Well, at least we got the 17 right.
Yeah, I like the 17. Because you know they're not going to kick a lot of field goals, so just keep going for it. So I'll give them one field goal. You can't.
Yeah, I agree. And I really do think that'll hurt them.
Yeah, it's just it was a bad matchup. It's about matchups, and they don't match up well in the first game. I watched that whole game, and I think it's going to be really tough. A lot of the things that Oregon likes to do, they're not going to be able to do against the Indiana's defense. So, I think Indiana goes into that, and honestly, I don't know if anyone's going to beat Indiana.
Right. So I'm going to change the background for just a second because we both love this background so much, and I want to talk. I want to talk an MLB point. All right. So let's do that so people know we're going to talk about baseball for just a second. Cheese, we talked about this off air. There are still plenty of MLB free agents out there right now. Big names, big guys who should get big contracts. This happened last year with that terrible agent guy who basically overplayed his hand. Do you think that's what's happening this year as well? Or do you think it's caused by something else? Why do we still have so many big free agents and it's the new year?
You got to give a shout out to Pete Alonso and Dylan Cease for just taking the win. Oh, I have a good offer. Just take it.
Yeah.
I think because I think a lot of teams either want to stay under the luxury tax or just they have a number and they know no one else in the league's probably going to that. So they're like, no, like I don't know Kyle Tucker's representatives. They want $400 million. Most teams probably aren't even $300 million. Actually, I would be surprised if no one's at $300 million. He's not coming off a good year. There's a rumor Cody Bellinger wants $200 million. No one's getting close to that. Bo Bichette, great player, but can't really stay at shortstop. Kills his value. So he probably wants to get paid like he's a shortstop. He's not. He's got to probably play second base. There's just a lot. And Alex Bregman's 32, coming off an injury-plagued year. And then you have people like Zach Gallen who have a draft pick attached to him, qualifying offer. I think he would have signed by now. By the way, I wonder if the Braves would sign him. Just throwing out there, they could use another starter.
They could.
But Framber Valdez, a great player. He's 32 and a qualifying offer. And Ranger Suarez, he's had some injuries. He hasn't had like the proven track record. He's very good. Like there's these players just probably are just way either years or money just way above where anyone wants to go. And they're waiting till someone either caves or they have to cave. But it's shocking. There's just how many people are still out there. And we thought once Pete Alonso and Kyle Schwarber signed, then all the other bats would fall. It hasn't happened. And then all the Japanese players, we thought after they signed, all the other chips would fall. Nothing has happened since those 3 Japanese players signed.
Yeah, we're gonna have a guest here. We'll talk about him in just a moment. I can't wait to talk with him about all the stuff that we're talking about right now. But I want to point this out, and I want to ask you, Cheese. This is another one of those things to where, again, I say it every week, right? I can't wait to get your opinion on this. Well, we've got 2 things going on right now in Major League Baseball. One is the Toronto Blue Jays, who are saying, yeah, we want you. We'll pay for you. Come be a Toronto Blue Jay. And they've done this with 2 or 3 players already. Are they going to continue to do this? And are they going to be this new super team? And then secondly, because you've got so many out there, are those values going to start dropping? And are teams like the Reds and the Pirates and the Rockies and the Oakland Athletics,
Miami Marlins, yeah,
right? Are those teams going to start jumping into this pool because the price has fallen down enough to where they can jump into the market?
Well, I'm going to say this about Toronto. The rumor is the Cubs were really in on Cease, and they were up to like 180 million. As soon as it went over 200 million, they were out, right? Mm-hmm. The rumor is that Japanese pitcher went to Houston. The Cubs were second as well. The Cubs are trying to be aggressive. A lot of the fans are mad, but they're trying. They're just, second place. But the Blue Jays got a ton of revenue by going all the way to the World Series Game 7. The revenue was amazing this year, and they're putting it back into the team. So I applaud them for it. Some other teams did not have that revenue. They didn't either make the postseason or have a long run. So they might not have as high a budget. So that's one thing I think the Blue Jays, why they're doing what they're doing. And they look to be one of the best teams again next year. They're just absolutely loaded. So maybe that's it. But even – you know what Scott Boras does. He likes to go to 6 to 8 teams and I say 6 to 8, 6 pretty much. There are usually one or two of his teams he goes to are rebuilding. He goes to, Mets, Yankees, Phillies, Dodgers, there's 4 of them. And he just tries to get all his clients to go there, get them to get to a certain amount of money and hope that one of those teams does. And they know what he's doing. And he probably used the Cubs to get Dylan Cease over $200 million. With the Blue Jays, he probably did.
And as much as I don't like him, that is his job.
Yeah, I hate it. But to answer your question, it's a great question. I could see someone like a Zach Gallen take 2 years, $40 million from, a team, maybe Miami Marlins. Mm-hmm. I could see some players maybe doing a 3-year deal like Bregman did with the Red Sox last year with an opt-out after the first year. Right. So basically it's a 1-year deal. I can be a free agent next year. That's what's going to happen. That's what happened to Bregman's market. So that's what we might see. Most of these hitters do not want to do that at this point. They want the security. But that's what's probably going to happen, and that opens up the door for the Pirates, for the Reds, for the Marlins, teams like that.
All right. The other thing that I wanted to touch on baseball-wise really quickly, I did notice that the Philadelphia Phillies have hired Don Mattingly. I really like Don Mattingly. I think he's going to be a really good fit there in Philadelphia. Is Don Mattingly one of these guys that you think has gotten kind of slighted from Major League Baseball like I do? I think Don Mattingly, not in the Hall, isn't really looked at as one of the top players and when he played because it was a shortened and he kind of had an injury-riddled type career. But I think he is proving, I don't want to say invaluable, like he's the best thing since sliced bread in Major League Baseball. But I think that he brings that hard nose, that grit type of style to the teams that he goes to. And he's going to go to Philadelphia and bring that style. And I think that might be something that pushes the Phillies over the top. And maybe they can actually make it to the World Series this year. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, he's got a lot of managerial experience. It cannot hurt at all. His biggest problem is why would you ever take the Marlins job? Just why would you ever do that? So, yeah, how long has he managed for? He's been a manager a lot. There's no bad. What am I trying to say? I
don't know.
He only played for the Yankees. There's nothing. He can only help. He's 64 years old. He's been a bench coach a lot. He's been a manager a lot. It can only help your team. So yeah, good move for the Phillies.
Yeah. I think it's an underrated move that not a whole lot of people are talking about that I think is going to make a pretty big difference to them. All right, buddy. We may talk about one or two other baseball notes that I've got over here, depending on how we are on time. We're at almost an hour and 20 minutes in. And at the hour and 20-minute mark, it is now time to go to the National Football League. And our buddy Cheese, who has done all kinds of stuff for this segment. Yeah, the guy that's pointing to himself over there, not that he's conceited whatsoever. But here we go. Let's switch the music just a little. Let's switch the background, and let's switch to NFL 4 down territory on 3, 2, 1. Make you wait for it this time.
Yeah. I can be patient.
All right, Cheese, give us a little preview of what we're going to get right now on the NFL 4 down territory segment.
We're going to talk about coordinators being the scapegoat, possibly, and not the head coaches. We're going to talk about a stat you mentioned earlier, how crazy the turnover's been in the playoffs the last few years. We're going to preview the games, and if we have time, we might do some awards. We might do an award show by itself.
Yeah, we haven't quite decided. We're leaving that up to you guys and to the time monster over here, because that's one of those things. Time is undefeated, ladies and gentlemen. So
we can probably do it quick. We can probably do it. We'll see. Oh, we have the lights out list at the end too. That's going to be a fun one.
Yes.
Top 10 coaching candidates. And of course, our list will be very different. They always are.
They always are. They always are. All right. Let's pause that and let's get to it. What are we going to tackle first?
Okay. So the Washington Redskins, the Washington Commanders, what a dumb name. They parted ways with both coordinators today. Cliff Kingsbury, offensive coordinator, and Joe Witt Jr. Both were considered great hires at the time, especially when Washington won 12 games and made a playoff run. It looked like they were great. I mean, they both were considered two of the best hires. Now, after one really down year, they went 5-12, I believe. With Jaden Daniels missing 10 games, their quarterback, their star quarterback.
Right, come on now.
With injury, yes. Both guys have been both guys are out. So you were wondering yesterday when we did the Black Monday special, why no coordinators have been let go. It looks like they may have waited today to Tuesday. But before we get into the questions, I just want to mention, we mentioned it yesterday, Bobby Slowik. This is such an important one. He was the Texans offensive coordinator in 2023. Okay. And CJ Stroud's rookie season, and he was considered a genius. Look what he did with his rookie quarterback. It was the best season a rookie's ever had until Jaden Daniels at quarterback position. And Slowik was considered one of the biggest names, one of the hottest names for head coaching. He didn't get a job, okay? And then last year, the offensive line completely collapsed. The offense collapsed. And he took the blame, and he got fired. D'Amico Ryans let him go. He went from like one of the hottest candidates to being fired from the offensive coordinator position. Crazy. Slowik is now the Dolphins passing game coordinator. So he did not even get another offensive coordinator job. He went to probably getting a head coaching job to not even getting an offensive coordinator position. So I still believe Slowik's the future head coach. I think he did a really good job, but I think he has to build his reputation back up, become a coordinator again, have success. And it could take years. Why do teams do this? Why do they overreact with coordinators over one bad season when they've proven they had success in at least one previous year?
I don't know. This is crazy to me. When you put this in the notes, and I was looking at it earlier, I was like, I can't believe this is happening. One of these two guys is going to make my list here in a few minutes for the head coaching candidacies. And I think he's still going to get a job even though Washington let him go. But I don't understand this at all. Like you already pointed out, we thought these were great hires not a year ago. And then come on, your quarterback missed 10 games. It's like playing with Shedeur Sanders for 10 games. I mean, yes, you're not going to win many of those games, and they should understand that. Is that Cliff Kingsbury's fault? Absolutely not. I mean, I could see maybe the defensive guy getting let go, but I don't think you can let an offensive guy go when his best weapon's not even on the field.
And Joe Witt Jr., yeah, I totally agree. Like, Cliff Kingsbury was, before he was let go, like he's going to interview for these jobs. And we talked about him getting a job. I think he still has a chance to get a head coaching job.
I do too.
I do. I think it's crazy because he was a genius last year. Same with Slowik. Look what he did. He's a genius. And he's always been a good offensive coach, whether you think he was a good head coach in Arizona or not. And sometimes it's maybe the head coach, they're not seeing eye to eye. They disagree on stuff. But to let him go, and then Joe Witt Jr., I just want to mention, he's always been thought of as a really good assistant coach. He was a defensive back coach in Green Bay. He's been a passing game coordinator. And he was like the hot defensive coordinator hire at the time. And, they don't have a lot of talent on the defensive side of the ball. They don't have much pass rush. It's not a talented defense. So I don't know how you can blame him either. I don't like either of those firings, and both of them should get other jobs, at least coordinator jobs, like really quickly. So do you think, we talked about Kingsbury, do you think this hurts his chances of landing one of those head coaching jobs because he was dismissed?
I don't think so. I think most most smart NFL people. I'm not really considering myself a smart NFL person, not near what you are, but I think people look at it and go, I think most people look at it and say, kind of like Kevin Stefanski. I think he is still going to get another job, even though he was with the pitiful Browns, and he's respected enough in the league to where people still think he's a good coach. And I think Cliff is in the same boat. I thought he got over his head in Arizona, and then he went back to kind of his roots, and he was an offensive coordinator. And I think now he's harnessed his skills. And I'm hoping some team, and I think it's going to be the Tennessee Titans, like I said yesterday, I think that a team will give him a shot and see if he has improved himself over these last few seasons. And like I said, in Tennessee, they need to get the whole quarterback thing right. And I think Cliff Kingsbury can do that, being their head coach. So I hope somebody gives him a chance.
Okay. Yeah, me too. I was shocked at both of them. So they will – people are calling their agents right now to try to get them. As soon as new head coaches or anyone that loses coordinators is going to call them. That's just crazy. So do you think head coaches do this to blame someone besides themselves when they have a disappointing season? Like maybe Dan Quinn fired them saying, oh, it was the coordinator's fault. Do you think that's a thing?
I'm sure it is. We talked about it yesterday. I mean, the owner, the GM's not going to fire themselves. So it's like, okay, well, we'll just let the coach go. And there was a couple of coaching firings yesterday that we were scratching our heads about. And I think it's the same concept, right? The GM says, well, I'm going to survive this. And if I got to throw this guy under the bus and then back it back over him, I'll do it just so I can keep my job. So I'm sure that head coaches think the same way. If there's some rumblings around on Monday where you might get canned, you may have to have those hard conversations and be like, hey, but I wonder if in those rooms where it's just them, I wonder if the head coaches are honest with the coordinators and be like, hey, man, I think my job's in jeopardy. So I don't think you're a really bad coordinator, but I'm going to let you go just to make sure that I can keep my job.
It's possible. This isn't in the notes, but do you think owners, to maybe keep the fans happy, fire someone someone has to take the blame? It's okay, we had a disappointing season, so we'll just fire the offensive coordinator or fire the defensive coordinator because I don't want to fire the head coach. Do you think that goes on too? Like,
I think it does.
Let's do something. Yeah.
Excuse me. Yeah, we gotta do something. And the fans are just clamoring, right? They're like, okay, who's going to get the blame for this? We had a terrible season. You've got to blame somebody. The only two teams that I think are kind of immune for that are the Cincinnati Bengals because they don't want to pay anybody else. And I think Jerry Jones is in that same boat in Dallas because I think he is loyal to a lot of his people to a fault sometimes. I mean, how long did it take him to fire Garrett? And how long did it take him to fire McCarthy?
Wade Phillips.
Right, you're right, Wade Phillips. But yet he was really quick to fire Jimmy Johnson when it's like, really, you're doing that one?
Well, he did fire Matt Eberflus after 1 year, but that was pretty obvious. I mean, that wasn't working out as defensive coordinator. Yeah, that was a disaster. I don't know why you hired him as your defensive coordinator anyway. He was one of the worst coaching moves ever. The Bears hired him. Just terrible. It's funny. The Bears, probably two of the worst 5 head coaching hires I've seen in my lifetime, were both Bears coaches named Matt. Interesting.
The Bears.
Okay. Well, last question for this topic. Does it matter that it might cripple these coordinators' careers? Because at the very least set them back, because other teams that might want to hire him a head coach, well, how bad would it look if we hire someone who was fired as a coordinator as our head coach? Do you think it really hurts their careers and sets it back?
It probably does.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's something that they can overcome, but I think in the short term, it probably hurts their career. I mean, they're going to have to take something and kind of build themselves back up. It at least pushes their career backwards for a couple of years until they can prove that they were what we thought they were 3 years ago, but it just takes them 2 more years to prove that. So, yeah, I don't think it's a death sentence necessarily, but I think it does kind of push their careers back.
I think it definitely did with Bobby Slowick. Okay, next topic. You love stats. Here we go. Got
Okay.
two for you right here.
All right.
Only 6 teams of the 32 have made the playoff each of the last 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love
There
this
are-
so much. I teased it in the beginning.
I know. 3 AFC teams, 3 NFC teams. The AFC teams are the Bills, Texans, and Steelers. And the NFC teams are the Eagles, Rams, and Packers. And the Packers actually haven't won the division. They've always been a wild card, but they still made it 3 straight years. Not only that, this is even crazier. Only one team in the NFL that won the division last year repeated. There's 8 divisions. One of the 8 teams won the division back-to-back years. That's the defending champion Philadelphia Eagles. So what does this say about the state of the NFL?
This is what the NFL wants. The NFL wants parity. The NFL wants to be able to sell, to sell Bills jerseys this year and then be able to sell Patriots jerseys next year. And I think it keeps fans engaged as well. I mean, I remember as a Bengals fan for a lot of years, there was hope. And then the hope was dashed after like week 3 because we knew what was going to happen. That's just not a good fan base. That's not a good. You don't make money off of that. The only people that make money off of that are the owners. The fans don't want to spend their money. They don't want to buy tickets. They don't want to buy jerseys. They don't want to get involved. They don't care about those players then going out into the community because it's like, well, of course you're going to come out into the community. You can't do anything else right, so you may as well come out here and pass out Thanksgiving dinners. So
Wow.
it's true though. So
That's what you're good for.
that's right. It's the only thing you're good for. But this year, and we've talked about it numerous times on this show, the Chicago Bears are all of a sudden in the playoffs because they play this weak schedule. The Patriots all of a sudden in the playoffs because they played this weak schedule. I'm already looking ahead. We talked about it some yesterday on the strength of schedule for the upcoming season and what that's going to do as far as these coaching hires go. So the NFL is doing things proactively that are keeping different fan bases alive. They're making it to where, for God's sake, the Detroit Lions were in the playoffs. And, this season's not a very good season for them. I remember talking about this with you in the beginning before the season started. And we looked at their opponents on the road and said, wow, look at this gauntlet of a schedule. How in the world are they going to do this? And it turns out they didn't.
One team on the road that had a losing record last year, and that's the Bears, who won the division this year. That's
right.
How brutal the road schedule was, yeah.
Yeah, and that makes a huge difference, even if it is just 3 games. How many of these teams won their division by more than 3 games? I don't think anybody did. So then that means that those 3 games make a really, really big difference in seedings and all this kind of stuff for the playoffs. The NFL is doing a really good job of keeping every fan base and at least giving them hope.
The only division that wasn't even close was the NFC East. Eagles had 11 wins. Dallas had 7. But yeah, that's a good point. But so many of these teams, the Bears, the Patriots, last place schedules. Carolina played a 3rd place schedule. They won the division. Jacksonville played a 3rd place schedule. So yeah, it's very helpful. You can flip it. When the Bears were playing, we talked about this, when they're playing the Raiders, Packers were playing the Broncos, Detroit was playing the Chiefs, and Minnesota was playing the Chargers. Mm-hmm. And those 3 teams lost, and the Bears won that game against the Raiders. Barely. They only won by 1 point, but they won.
They won.
Okay. Well, do you like having different teams in the playoffs every year, or do you like dynasties where you get the same matchups, the repeats, the really good quarterbacks? So what do you prefer?
Well, I'm going to take a little bit of a different stand off this. I read this question when you sent it to me earlier. I think that if you have different teams and the league is now designed to have different teams, I think when you do have a dynasty, it makes that dynasty even more special. I don't like the Chiefs, but what they have been able to do is pretty amazing, to be honest with you. I like Andy Reid and some of the players on that, but, I get tired of seeing seeing that little twig that runs around with Kelsey all the time on TV. And, I get tired of that kind of stuff. So and think about this season, though. There's no Ravens. There's no Chiefs. There's no Bengals. I mean, all of these teams that were the high-powered offense-type teams that we all thought were going to go to the playoffs, there's a new batch of teams now. The Jaguars are here. The Chicago Bears are here. And as you just said, one of the things that you, as a Packer fan, should be able to hang your cheese hat on is they've been there. Although they haven't won the division, they are still able to go to the playoffs.
Well, it's 7th seed 3 straight years, so they're really going nowhere. They're staying exactly. But yeah, and they did win. They're only 7th seed to win. 2 years ago, they won in Dallas. So they're only 7th seed so far to win a playoff game. I got a stat
Will they
for you.
win this year as a 7th seed? We'll talk about it here in just a couple seconds.
Yeah, I got a stat for you.
Okay. I love them. Go.
The top 2 seeds in both conferences are Broncos, Patriots, Seahawks, Bears. The combined number of playoff wins for those quarterbacks is 0. None of those quarterbacks have won a playoff game ever. This is going to be crazy.
That's a great stat.
Yep.
And that means, do I trust them? Do I think they'll be able to handle the pressure?
Well, Drake May and Caleb Williams never been in the playoffs. It's their 2nd year in the league. And Sam Darnold is 0-1, and Bo Nix is 0-1. They both lost first round last year. So I've never seen a playoff which more of a free-for-all in my life. There's almost always like a 15-2 Chiefs team. Okay, well, it's probably Ravens, Bills, or Chiefs. There's 3 teams and there's everyone. You know what I mean? There's always 2 or 3 teams is going to make it. Like last year was probably Lions or Eagles in the NFC. Those were the 2 best teams. It was probably one of those 2, and it was. This year, I have no clue. It's going to be crazy, and we'll talk about that in a second. So, yeah. Okay, well, yeah, you pretty much answered the next question. You already answered it. So, you ready to predict and preview these games?
Ask me the question, though, because I want to.
Okay. Do you think this is good for the sport, all this parity, all these changing teams, new teams being the top seeds?
It's not good for the sport. It's great for the sport.
Okay.
I do. So at first I will admit, and I even said it a few weeks ago, I didn't watch many of the games for a couple weeks in a row because, I'm a Cardinals and Bengals fan, and it's like, oh my gosh, right? So, yeah, that hurts.
You're going to love the top 10 of the draft.
I am, actually. I'm going to be really interested. I'm going to have, pick 4 and 10, I think, is how it's going to go. So
I think the Cardinals pick 3.
Do they pick 3?
But anyway, yeah, I'll double check while you're going. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. But I do like this. It gives me the ability to look at some new teams. It gives me the ability to talk about new head coaches. It gives me the ability to say, okay, has Trevor Lawrence finally made it? It gives me the ability to say, so were the on Baker Mayfield, were the Browns right with Baker Mayfield? Was he just a flash in the pan for a few years and now he's going to be bad for the rest of his career? So there's some storylines that this automatically builds in, like you just mentioned. Will Drake May be able to take this new pressure? Is it going to help Bo Nix that he went to the playoffs last year, was one and done, but yet he knows what it's like to at least be in a playoff game? Will that help him this year? There's a lot of these little storylines that are developing because of the parity in the NFL. So I think it's a great thing for the sport.
Okay. I agree. I think it's going to be fun. And it's not good when you have just like 2 dominant teams that are probably going to play in the championship game. So I agree. Okay. You ready to talk about these games?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay. First game to talk about is the NFC Saturday. Rams, number 5 seed, is at Carolina, the 4 seed. Despite being 4 games better in the standings, I hate this. That's a topic for another day. Rams in Carolina, Saturday afternoon. In your opinion, what is the key matchup or the key player in this game?
I'm going to go somewhere that you're probably not going to expect.
Okay.
But for me, this game has the Dan Lanning effect for me. And what I mean by that is Dan Lanning takes a lot of chances, and sometimes it burns them and sometimes it doesn't. And I think that the Rams coach, McVay, takes a lot of chances. Is he going to take more chances because it's an 8-9 Panther team? And then is he going to do something dumb? Is he going to take a chance and it's going to cost him the game? I think that's an interesting dynamic for this particular game. Will he take a chance, and will that chance pay off? Because the team opposing him is probably the weakest team in the entire playoffs.
I like that. I did not even consider that. So when we don't know what we're going to say about the key matchup, I wrote down 2 just in case you took mine. So yeah, you didn't. Of course, we have different ones, but
yes,
yeah. So this is a rematch.
This, by the way, Rudy, I apologize, but I missed it. I don't know how long this comment's been here since. Let's see.
Indiana by 14 plus. Oh, it's very possible.
You just put it up here. So okay, I thought I missed it from the last segment. I was really going to apologize, but it's only been up there for a minute, so I didn't miss it like I thought I did. But
it's
thank you
very
for the comment
possible.
anyway, Rudy.
It's very possible, and he is so good. Okay, my key matchup. Okay, so these teams, I always look if they played before. I went back, and I just watched the second half. I went back and watched the second half. I didn't have time to watch the first half, but
I get that.
The Panthers won this game by 3 points, 31-28 at home, same arena in Charlotte. They gained 164 yards rushing with Rico Dowdle, and they dominated time possession, 35-25, and 3 turnovers to 0. Not Stafford's best game. With all of that, they still barely won the game. So they need everything to go right. They need all that. They have to run the ball. They have to force turnovers. They have to control the clock and keep Stafford and that offense off the field. So they need a lot of help. And it's one of those games that the Rams probably win 9 out of 10 times, and that was one. So that is my matchup. The Rams are actually favored by 10. Who you got?
I'm going to go with the Rams. But if I have to go on the spread, I would take the Panthers. So I think the Rams are going to win the game, but I don't think they can cover that 10-point spread.
Okay. I had the same. 10-point is such a big – I could absolutely see the Rams running away with it. But on the road, yeah, 10 is too much. But I do think the Rams will win. I think they'll – like I said, they played really bad the first time. I don't think they'll play that bad again. Okay, Saturday night, Green Bay Packers, the 7th seed, 9-7-1, play the number 2 seed Chicago Bears, who are 11-6. What is your? I got like 4 matchups listed here. What is your key matchup or player?
Well, I think the key player that has to do well is on your Packers team, and if he does well, they win the game, and if he doesn't, they won't. And it's not going to be Jordan Love. I'm not going to be that guy. He takes all the obvious ones. But I do think that Christian Watson has to play well. He has to be able to stretch that field. And one of the reasons why he has to is because Matthew Golden has been such a disappointment for your team this year. If we were going to do the 5-5-5, he was going to be the guy that I was going to pick on, and we were going to talk about him. But I think he's been a disappointment, and because he's been such a disappointment, you've got to have a guy that takes over. Christian's got to do it. And if he doesn't, this team's not going to get past the Bears, and they are going to make so much fun of you if that happens, and they're going to troll you so bad if that happens. He's like, I don't care. I'm in it. Well, I'll ask you in a minute. Go ahead.
There's a lot of things in this game. I'll just say what the Bears want to do. They want to control the time possession. They want to run the ball, wear the Packers down. The run defense, we saw what happened in the Ravens game, how bad it can be. Limit the possessions. That's what they want to do. So Green Bay has to prevent that. They have to get ahead. They have to score. And the Bears defense is not very good. It's not a good defense. They don't get a lot of pass rush. They had trouble with Christian Watson the first time they played.
Yes, they did.
So that's a really good point. I had him listed. That was really good. But this is here's the thing. Green Bay's just got to score. They scored 30 points to win. They got to score points. They got to get ahead and score points. They have the better quarterback. They have Josh Jacobs, who has not really been healthy for 2 months. He's healthy now. He's pretty much rested the last couple weeks. So I think Josh Jacobs having a big game is also key for the offense. It'll help Love. It'll help the whole thing. and it will keep that Packer defense without Parsons, which has struggled off the field. So Packers score points. Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs play well, score points, and they'll be fine. If they don't, if they punt or kick field goals, they probably won't win. You said you had another question for me?
I do. But first of all, I have to say, Clip, I want to give you this scenario, and I want you to pick one of these for me as a Packer fan. The Packers win this game and continue on to their march to the Super Bowl, or the Packers lose this game and fire the head coach. Which one do you want to happen?
If they weren't playing the Bears, I would say fire the coach. I would. If they were playing like the Rams or the Seahawks or something like that, I'd be like, let's just move on from LaFleur. But it's the Bears. You can't lose to the Bears. Got to beat them. I want them to win. I don't think they'll beat Seattle.
Even though they win, they're going to keep LaFleur. You're okay with that?
Why you ask me the hard ones? Why would you do this? This is like everything is fine, the room's burning kind of question. Like either way, we're screwed. I don't think they can go to Seattle and win. Seattle's just a much more complete team. So that's who they play if they win. Mm-hmm. If the Bears win, they would obviously would not play Seattle. But
because it works, the lowest seed plays the highest seed the next round in the playoffs. So
can't lose the Bears. That's my answer. Packers -1.5. Who you got?
I'm going to choose the Packers. I still don't believe in the Bears. They haven't done it for me yet. Now I will change my tune, kind of like I did with Oregon, if the Bears win this game. But as of right now, I don't think they're good enough.
I think it's a coin flip game. If the Bears get ahead and run the ball, they'll be fine. And if they can't stop the Packers, they're going to be screwed. I think Caleb Williams is another factor. That was another one I listed. He probably has to play well. I don't know if he will. First playoff game. So give me Green Bay to score enough points to win the game. I was going to say that. Okay. Now we're on to Sunday. The Buffalo Bills are the 6th seed. They're at Jacksonville, who are a 3 seed. Who is your key matchup in this game?
Well, let me tell you, first of all, this is the most intriguing game of the slate.
Okay.
Here's why. And then I'll tell you, I'm going to build to the guy that I'm going to do the matchup for. It's going to be kind of an obvious one, but let me set it up first. So the Bills have fallen to the number 6 seed. They've taken a step back this year. And there's rumblings, we talked about it a little bit yesterday, that if they go out in this first round, their coach might not make it. Their coach might be and have the 8th team without a head coach. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure if that's really going to happen, but the inclination is out there. This is a game to where you've got an upstart Jaguars team that I think a lot of people are starting to get behind, and a team in the Bills that I think a lot of people are tired seeing in the playoffs year after year after year and not really do a whole lot of anything. Something happens. I mean, I know it's been the Chiefs, but something happens and the Bills just get taken out. We love Josh Allen and he's such a great guy. He's got such great character and he goes to the hospitals and he hugs all the kids and he signs all the autographs and people get behind Josh Allen, and then he goes to this playoff. What I don't like is the Bills. Josh Allen in Buffalo is really similar to me to Lamar in Baltimore. The man needs some weapons. I mean, what do you want this guy to do? It's seemingly every game that I watch, if he doesn't play well, they don't win. And I mean, not just play well. If he makes a mistake, if he throws a pick, it's like, oh, there we go. Josh Allen threw a pick and we lost the game. What are you people doing blaming him? But he is my key matchup because Josh Allen is a guy who can take over a game. And that's what he's going to have to do, I think, to win this game. And it's going to be really intriguing to me. Does Josh Allen go to Jacksonville? Because that's where they have to play. They have to go to Jacksonville. And they don't do well on the road in the playoffs if you haven't looked up the stats. Yeah. So Allen's got to take over this game, and he's got to be the guy to will his team to victory. Can he do that? And I'm going to throw this out there. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're a Buffalo Bills fans, man, comment. Do you think he's tired of doing this? Because I would be. I'd be tired of having to do this game after game after game after game. It's like, I think Joe Burrow has this syndrome too, where it's like, I can't make a mistake because if I do, the defense is not good enough to make up for it. So we're going to get beat. I have to be perfect. Josh Allen has to be almost perfect in order to win this game. Can he do it again? To be honest, I don't think so. I think Jacksonville's going to win this game. I know I kind of gave that part of it away. You will ask me in a minute, but this is really intriguing to me. How's Josh Allen going to play? And is that going to stop this upstart Jacksonville Jaguar team who is 8-0, I think, in the last, they haven't lost a game forever, right?
I'll pull it up. They have won 8 straight.
Yeah.
The Texans have won 9. The only team with the longer streak is the Texans. And the longest losing streak is the Arizona Cardinals.
Thanks.
Anyway. Oh, I forgot to mention this. You mentioned Matthew Golden, disappointing season. They don't play him. When he's played, he's actually, if you look at metrics, he's the 4th most efficient rookie receiver in the NFL this year. But they just don't play him. They play
How many touchdowns does he have, Chiefs?
He has 0, but he doesn't play much. And you know what? Matt LaFleur sucks. That's another reason why he sucks. He won't play his it's probably second most talented after Christian Watson receiver. He won't play him. He likes to stick with the veterans. But when he's out there, he's been efficient. He's made some plays. So it's not really Matthew Golden's fault. It's Matt LaFleur's fault. But going back to this game, it's funny. You mentioned the quarterback. I'm going to mention the other quarterback. But, yeah, Josh Allen, when they've lost in the playoffs, it's not been his fault.
Can I go back to Golden for 30 seconds?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're talking about it earlier. Golden has a trait that no one else on that team really has. I mean, I guess Watson can do it somewhat, but Golden can spread the field. Golden is the guy who can just run past people. I have not seen a big play to Golden since I know there was one that I saw in a game, but I mean, there should be a big play to Golden every single game, at least one. And they don't. It's like they refuse to do it. So,
and they were doing it they were playing him when Jaden Reed and Christian Watson were out. They're playing him some, but the fact that they're playing Bo Melton ahead of him is criminal. Bo Melton is playing ahead of him in more snaps. It's insane. Dontavian Wicks is out, the number 4 receiver. Mm-hmm. They're still putting Bo Melton in there more. For some reason, LaFleur you're a veteran, you should play above the rookie. Absolutely ridiculous. He has made some plays this year, Matthew Golden. His start-stop ability is incredible. His acceleration, his feet, his route running is great. But they won't play him. And I get it. Okay, he's not a great run blocker. Okay? He's bad at that. He'll get better, hopefully. That's part of the Packer offense. They want the receivers to run block well. I don't care. On every third down, he should be in there. It's absolutely ridiculous that they're not playing him. When he has, it's a very small sample size. He's been efficient. He's made some plays. So a lot of it's not his fault. Okay, so yeah, you mentioned
coaching.
Yeah, LaFleur just has to go. Josh Allen, when they've lost to me, it hasn't been his fault. He made an incredible play with 2 unblocked rushers against the Chiefs, threw it up in the air. The tight end should have caught it last year. It's not Allen's fault.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He has to. I think he feels like he has to be perfect.
But the Bills' defense. Well, there are 2 things I've listed here. Bills' defense has been terrible this year. The rookies they drafted haven't really done well. Any game they can just get absolutely lit up. And they can't let that happen, first of all. But what the Bills have to do, because they can't stop anything, they have to force Trevor Lawrence to be the old Trevor Lawrence into turnovers. The old Trevor Lawrence will make a play, one pass, and then miss what are you doing? Terrible decision-making, bad interception. Just lately he's been amazing. He's been terrific. They need the old Trevor Lawrence to show up. They need to force him into mistakes or they will not win this game. That is my key. Bills are actually favored by 1.5. There's some road favorites. Okay. You obviously think Jacksonville will cover and win. I agree.
Yes.
I just think Jacksonville's a better team and I think they're better coached as well. Okay. Any more to add about that game?
No, I'm sorry. You probably see me a little distracted over here. I've got an idea in my head that I want to make sure we get to on a future show. And I know I'm too old. I'll never remember it past the end of this show. So I have to write it down real quick. That's what I'm doing.
You can message me at X or text me, and I'll remember. Okay. But you have to remember to do that later. Okay, yeah. See, yeah, better write it down.
Right.
Okay. All right. Next matchup is the 6-seeded 49ers in the NFC at the Philadelphia Eagles, who seeded the 3 seed. What is your key matchup or player in that game?
This one's a little strange too, because I think that it's really easy to pick quarterback, running back, stuff like that. I think it's going to be the leadership and the fire of the 49ers tight end, George Kittle. There we go. That's his name. Mm-hmm. George Kittle is an emotional guy. He's an emotional leader. He grabs that team and they all kind of gravitate towards him. If he can pull this team together, I do give the 49ers a shot to win this game, but not if they play like they did in the last game I watched them play.
3 points?
Yeah, they look terrible. And there seemed to be no emotional leader on that field. Like everybody was just kind of going through the motions. And I think they need Brock Purdy's not that guy. Not that I don't like Brock Purdy. He's just not the rah leader guy. He's the steady guy who will not do anything wrong. He reminds me of like a Trent Dilfer type of a quarterback who
he's better than that.
Well,
he's better than that.
Okay. But I mean, that's what I mean is he reminds me of that guy. He's not Purdy's got to make this huge throw right now. He's not that guy. He's the consistent guy. He doesn't make many mistakes, but he also doesn't like yell at the lineman on the sidelines, and he doesn't go up to the receiver and be like, "What in the world was that? You turned the wrong way," or whatever. He just kind of lets things go, and he's like, "Okay, well we'll play another down and we'll get another series and it'll be fine." But Kittle's the guy who is the fuel behind that fire. And if there's no fuel, there is no fire. And if there's no fire, the 49ers are done.
I think Kittle's a Hall of Famer. I think he's one of the best tight ends in the NFL. He has been for years. That's always when I talk about Hall of Fame. Are you one of the best in your position for many years? And when he's not in there, because he does get banged up a lot, when he's injured, their offense is different. Brock Purdy is the classic. He's going to carve up all the bad defenses. He's smart. He's perfect for the system. Shanahan's a very good offense coach. He's going to carve up. But when he faces a great defense, like the Seahawks, yeah, it was rough. So, yeah, that's the key for me. So, the key for me is different. The 49ers defense has had a ton of injuries. They're missing Nick Bosa. They're missing multiple players on the defensive line, missing Fred Warner. They're starting 4 or 5 guys on defense that should be on practice squads. Let's be honest. Their defensive line is – I'm going to pull it up here because I want to see if you even know any of these players. You ready? Okay.
Yes.
Now, I'll say this. I don't know. I mean, Alfred Collins is starting. He was at defensive tackle. He's a second-round pick, so that makes sense. Bryce Huff is starting at edge rusher. Do you know who that is?
Nope.
He was inactive in the playoffs for the Eagles last year. Inactive. Sam Okianuanu is another defensive end. I don't even know his name.
Yes, only because I was laughing at you trying to pronounce his name. Sure, I know who he is now. Say what was his name again, please?
I'm not going to try again. The other defensive tackle is Kalia Davis. Have you heard of any of those players?
No.
That's bad. They still got a decent secondary, but Eric Kendricks, it says is their middle linebacker. I thought he retired like 2 years ago with Fred Warner out for the year. So the big matchup for me is the 49ers defense is pretty much overachieved the second half of the year. Will they keep overachieving? Will they did a great job against the Seahawks. Will they keep it low scoring? Because they have to. Because the Eagles defense is very good. And the other thing, will the Eagles, their offense is underachieved. Will they finally click like they did in the postseason last year? So Eagles minus 4.5. Who you got? Uh-oh.
All right, so there's something going on here. We got even my screen blanked out for a second.
Okay.
So
Eagles 4.5. Who you got? Minus 4.5.
Well, let me make one final point on this real fast. The whole reason that San Francisco's here, we've talked about it before, they had a last place schedule too. If they have any kind of schedule besides a last place schedule and all these injuries, they wouldn't be in the playoffs. So let me make that point real quick. I'm going to take the Eagles. You said they were. Let's see. I'll go over here because you were 4.5. 4.5. 5. Yeah, I'll take the Eagles, and I'll take them with the 4.5. So give me the Eagles and the 4.5.
I'm going to do the same. I don't necessarily trust the Eagles, but the 49ers, their luck's about it needs to run out. It's going to be a cold weather game too. Do we agree so far on everything? That's not good. Well, I'm sure there'll be a difference. We have 2 games left. Okay. Chargers of the 7th seed. They're at New England Sunday Night Football. What is your key matchup or player in that game?
Well, I mean, I know it's easy to take Drake May, but I'm still going to. First playoff game ever. Can he handle the pressure? Is he going to crack? Mike Vrabel, not the first time he's ever been to the playoffs, but as a head coach it is. Can he keep his team composed like he has on the sidelines? It's one of the things that I've really liked about him this year is that he has seemed to know what buttons to push at what times to keep this young team kind of grounded and balanced and all of that. But this is the playoffs, and this is a formidable guy with Justin Herbert, and as much as I don't like Harbaugh on the other side of the fence here, that's a formidable team. And I think if the Patriots give them any leeway whatsoever, they're going to snatch it and they're going to win. So the key for this is the Patriots coach and quarterback being able to sustain the rest of the team and keeping them level-headed and in the game for all 4 quarters.
Vrabel did make the playoffs quite a bit with the Titans. He even took them to the AFC Championship game, lost the Chiefs. So he's actually coached 5 games in the postseason for the Titans when he was there.
And that's why you're the football guy and I am not.
Yeah. Titans, they used to be good. And under Ryan Tannehill, they had 3 seasons in a row where they were actually pretty good. 2020, 2021. But anyway.
Right. Sorry, Mr. First Down. You can yell at me later, buddy.
I'm going to go the other way. So, I think the Chargers, both offensive tackles are out for the year. Their interior offensive line is terrible. It's probably the worst offensive line in the NFL. It's definitely the worst of all these teams in the playoffs. And the key is they've got to give Herbert time. He's got to be able to throw. They have very talented wide receivers. The Chargers do. They have to score points because the Patriots are going to score points. They are. So you have to give Justin Herbert time because you got to score with New England. That's their only chance. I doubt it happens. Patriots -3.5. Who you got?
So that means that if I take the Patriots, they have to win by 4, right?
Well, you can take the Chargers. But just if you take the Patriots, you can still take the Chargers in the spread. I thought it was going to be 7 or 8. I'm shocked that it's 3.5, to be honest with you. But yeah, Patriots only favored by 3.5 at home as a 2 seed versus 7.
Well, but again, we know how they got to that 2 seed. It's that strength of schedule deal again. They do have Justin Herbert. You know what? I should have made that my key. Justin Herbert's one of those guys. He hasn't proven a darn thing to me. You put him in a pressure cooker situation, and he folds like a paper bag.
He's not getting help. He doesn't have much help. He hasn't got any help in those games. Okay, I'm going to defend Justin Herbert because I think he's a great quarterback.
All right. Well, that might be why you're the football guy and I'm not. So we see things from a different perspective. And what's the great thing about this show? So yes, I'll still take the Patriots. And you know what? Give me the points too. I'll take them and the points.
I'm as well. I think they're going to win by much more than 3.5. Like I said, I thought it'd be 7 or 8. We agree. Okay, hopefully the last game we pick different teams. Let's hope so. So by the way, we're probably going to be wrong, all of it. So Jags versus Panthers Super Bowl. No, the Panthers are not going to the Super Bowl. No chance. That's a terrible take. Chargers, no. The offensive line, it's just not good enough. I don't see it happening. Okay. Last game, Texans-Steelers, the 5 seed versus the 4, despite having 2 more wins than the Steelers. Once again, stupid rule. What is your key matchup or player in this game?
I'm afraid we're going to take the same player. I hope you did do 2 here.
I did.
Okay, DK Metcalf's got to be the guy. We saw what the Steelers looked like without DK Metcalf, and it was not good. The only reason they got to where they are is because their Ravens are even worse. and the Bengals didn't want to win, and the Browns are, the Browns. So somebody had to win that division. It just happened to be Pittsburgh this year. If DK Metcalf doesn't play, if he doesn't stretch the field, and we talked about this as well, you have a couple, 3 different times. You don't even think Pittsburgh's using him right. And, I start to go back and look at film, and I'm like, wow, Jesus, right. They're just doing these 7-8 yard dump offs to him over the center of the field, and he can do so much more than that. So I think Pittsburgh needs to use him right, and I think DK Metcalf needs to show up, and he needs to avenge those last 2 games where he was a moron and smacked the fan and cost his team. He almost cost his team a playoff. So he needs to make this up.
Should've. Yeah, you got to use DK Metcalf, right? And I'll say this, the Texans defense is so good, one of the best in the NFL. But they looked vulnerable down the field to Alec Pierce of the Colts, the deep threat for the Colts last week. So maybe DK can stretch the field, make some big plays down the field. That would be huge. They need that. So, yeah, that was my first one. So here's my second one. The Texans O-line is not very good. It's been a little better than last year, but it's not very good. And you're going against a really good front, a very good pass rushing front. So you have to be able to block all those Steelers pass rushers. Nick Herbig, TJ Watt. You got Derek Harmon, Cameron Hayward. You got to be able to block all of them. I think it's going to be really tough to do that. Could be lower scoring than we think. And as far as Aaron Rodgers go, I think they're going to hopefully take chances down the field with DK Metcalf, but it's going to be a short passing game. It's still going to be short because they just, Aaron Rodgers doesn't move like he used to. That's their offense. They, try to get the ball out quick into the receiver's hands. I just hope they, take some shots with DK. Okay. Texans on the road are favored by 3. Who you got?
Well, let me see. John Smith over here is saying he has the Texans beating the Steelers easily. I'm not sure if it's going to be easily or not. I do agree with the offensive line. You're going to have to get the ball out quick. You're going to have to be decisive, is Stroud. He can do that. He can be that guy, but I think he is better with a clean pocket. So they're going to disrupt him some. And another thing that I agree with you on, I don't think it's going to be a blowout like some people think it's going to be. If I was going to give you a score, it'd be 17-14 or something like that. I think that's where the realm is for this game. I'm still going to pick the Texans, but I think that they will just constantly get after Stroud, and it'll be that kind of game to where it's almost a defensive game for the Steelers, and they're just going to cross their fingers and hope Rodgers can score 21 points. He can get 3 touchdowns in the football game.
This might not be the best matchup for the Texans because they have an incredible pass rush. The Texans do. But the Steelers don't let you rush the passer. They get rid of the ball quick.
Mm-hmm.
So
now, Aaron Rodgers still has that quick release, no matter how old he is.
He does. DK's playing. Steelers played like dog shit this past week. Still won. But you know this. The Steelers either play really well or really terrible. Pretty much no in between all year. They beat the Patriots. They lost to the Browns. They lost to the Bengals. Bengals without Burrow.
I was going to say, yeah.
Yes,
let's qualify this.
Yes. So you know what? Let's do it. Give me the Steelers. They're going to play better. They're at home. Give me the Steelers to win 20-17 over the Texans and obviously cover the spread. So there we go. We had to pick one difference. So I'm going to change mine. I was going to pick the Texans. I'm changing it. I'm going to piss off a lot of people I know, some of my friends here in Houston. I'm going to take
Who were your friends? Yes.
Well, I feel like one of the 4 or 5 teams, it's ridiculous that a team with another team with a better record has to go on the road. But I feel like one of those teams, Panthers or Steelers, is going to win. I don't know which one. So give me the Steelers to win the game. All right.
I tell you what. Let me do this real quick because I failed to do it a minute ago. We are going to have a guest next Tuesday right here on the Lights Out Sports Podcast, which, by the way, is trending number 1 right now on everyone that we follow, over 7,600 people. And you guys are making us number 1 on X right now. We certainly appreciate it. Tommy Bennett, he's a big Red Sox fan. He is part of the Pesky podcast for the Boston Red Sox. He's a big guy as far as the Bruins, the New Jersey Devils, and the Diamondbacks as well. We're going to talk a lot about baseball next week. The college football game will be down to 1, so we can shorten that segment a little bit, and we will widen the we'll widen the MLB segment a little bit next week. Can I ask you live on the air if we can do the awards?
No, yeah, we have no enough time. Yeah.
Okay, so let's do the awards next Monday. How about that? We're liking this Monday thing.
Well, there is a playoff game next Monday, the Texans Steelers. So
okay. And what time does that start?
Oh, look.
Maybe we'll do that like we did a couple weeks ago, and we'll go right up to that Monday night game.
So it starts at 6:15 your time, 8:15 Eastern.
All right. So let's go ahead. And you want to do it at 5? Can you do it 5 my time, 6 your time?
Yeah, we can do it then. And and we're doing awards. So anyone watching, we're going to do the major awards, the normal ones: Coach of the Year, Offensive Player of the Year, MVP, Defensive Player, right? But we're also going to be negative. We're going to do the least valuable, worst Coach of the Year. We're gonna have fun. I have time now. I might even come up with some even crazier awards. So Mike has to do all this research, make him work for it. I think I'm going to add a few. We'll see. So we're going to do that show on Monday. Make sure you check that out.
I want to do something else with you too. I know we're doing this, like, instead of doing it off air, we're doing it right here in front of everybody. Can you put something on your account? I'll put something on my X account to where we're going to do a fan award. We'll let the fans pick an award. We'll give them from now until we'll say Sunday. We'll say Sunday night till the playoff games are done. We'll give them all that time, and they can pick an award, and we'll choose one that the fans suggest, and then we'll do that award too. So we'll do a fan award. How about that?
Sounds good. Okay, before we do the lights out list, top 10, 2 things left. We're going to predict who's going to go to the Super Bowl. But first, I did a poll. Started yesterday. The poll was, what 6th or 7th seed has the best chance to reach the Super Bowl? The 6 and 7 seeds, I'll list them here, are the 49ers, Bills, Packers, and Chargers. Interesting. The Bills got off to a real early lead, but actually tied with the 49ers at 38%. A little shocking. I think the 49ers, you have to win 3 straight on the road, basically, to make it. So the 49ers, Bills, both 38%. Green Bay Packers are at 19%. Yeah. I didn't vote. I probably would have voted for that. Anyway. And one, I guess, so the Chargers finally got a vote, 5%. I wondered if the Chargers were going to get a vote. Right at the last second, they got a vote. So the Chargers, 5% say the Chargers. So the fans think the 2 6 seeds, 49ers, Bills, have the best chance.
Okay, so I've got to get everything back up here. So the Chargers play the Patriots.
Sunday Night Football. Correct.
Okay. And then you probably got it in front of you. Who would the Chargers play next if they made it past the Patriots?
Denver. So if the Packers win, they're at Seattle. If the Chargers win, they're at Denver. That's the only one we know for sure because you play the lower seed if you have a bye. The rest of the seeds depends on who wins and who loses. Although I'll say this, pretty much. Yeah, that's it.
I know their line's bad, but I'm not sure what the Patriots are going to do in the playoffs. And Denver's going to turn back into the pumpkin eventually. So I'm going to actually take the Chargers.
Of those 4 teams, you think they have the best shot?
Yeah, I think the Chargers have the best shot.
I get why people pick the Bills. I get it. There's too many flaws in that team.
Yeah,
their defense just sucks. If Micah Parsons was on the Packers, I would definitely pick. I'd still pick the Packers just because I don't think any of them are going to make it. To be honest with you, I don't think any of them will. But yeah, I was just curious what the fans thought. So fans still believe in the 49ers. They've had a good year. Okay, so here we go, Mike. I can go first in the AFC or NFC, or you can go first. We'll take turns. So predict Super Bowl. Do you want me to go first in the NFC, or do you want to go first?
Go ahead and go first. I'm still
Okay.
I'm debating.
All right, you're going to go first in the AFC then. Okay.
Okay, that's
my
fine.
NFC team. This was tough. AFC was a little easier. NFC's a free for all, man. It's really tough.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time. I'm looking at all the teams.
So-
I'm having a hard time right now.
When I look at this, I look at two things: quarterback and defense. That's what I look at. That's what wins in the playoffs: quarterback and defense. So I'm going to take the Rams. I'm going to take the Los Angeles Rams because I think Stafford's been amazing, and I really like their defense. So even though they're the 5 seed, and they have to probably win 3 games on the road, depending if 49ers, Packers win. You never know. They could possibly host them if those teams keep winning. So give me the Rams in the NFC. Who you got in the NFC?
I think they've taken a step back this year, and I'm going to make my buddy Gomez at work really, really happy. I'm going to take the Philadelphia Eagles. Until somebody beats them, they're the best in the NFC.
Wow. Okay. Didn't see that coming. Interesting. Hope their offense improves.
But you just said the quarterback and defense.
Yeah, they have a
Philadelphia
good
has
defense.
a pretty good defense, right?
Yeah, but the quarterback hasn't been so hot lately. Okay.
No, but you got a good combination between him and Saquon. So
If they hit like they did last year, yep, their roster's great. So
and
I get it.
don't you feel like, Cheese, that they're almost purposely holding back?
No,
No, you don't think so?
Not the way Nick Sirianni acts. He's not that good an actor.
Okay.
Like they beat the Bills 13-12 on a failed two-point conversion with the receivers open. Josh Allen just missed him, and then he starts screaming and talking smack, like how dare you talk smack? Like you probably should have lost the game, and he's talking smack. He's just a weird dude. He is
a little bit weird.
But
You're right
he's
about that.
always be a Super Bowl winning coach. Barry Switzer will always be a Super Bowl winning coach. So there you go. Okay.
There you go.
AFC, you go first. Who is your team to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl?
All right, so I'm going to go with momentum. I think momentum is really important in sports, and because this team they just keep winning and keep winning. They're 9-0 in their last 9 games. I'm going to say they're going to go all the way. Houston Texans are going to keep that momentum going and go all the way.
Well, obviously, I'm not going to pick that because I just predicted they would lose to Pittsburgh. No, I get that, but I had so much trouble with this. I can make you could really make an argument for, well, not every team, but I looked at
Carolina.
5 of the teams. I looked at 5 of the teams. No, I'm talking about the AFC. I think 5 of the teams have a legit shot, including the Texans, even though I picked against them. I'm going to go Denver. I love their defense, and Bo Nix is a key. He will be a key, but I think he'll play well. I think he was in the postseason last year. At least he got that experience, and they have the bye, so they're already 1 round in. So give me Denver versus the Rams. Okay, so I'll go first. I have Rams Broncos. Who's my winner? I got the Rams. I'm going to take the Rams to win, and Matt Stafford goes out and retires. Wins his 2nd Super Bowl with the Rams and goes out a champion. Okay, so you have the Texans versus the Eagles. Who you got?
Wow, this is really tough. I really want to pick the Texans, but that line against Philly just scares me to death. I think they'll exploit that because I think that's what Philadelphia does best. They're a Bill Belichick type team where they look at what the other team does really, really bad and they exploit that weakness.
You're picking a
Texans.
repeat.
I'm going to take the Texans.
You're taking the Texans. So the Houston Texans. Well, I can make a lot of people around here happy.
That took me a minute. I had to really stress about that one.
Do you realize we both just took the 5 seeds in each league?
No, I wasn't looking at seedings.
We both just took the 5 seeds. But that's what this playoff is about.
Is this year.
Yes, that's crazy. I just could not pick the Seahawks. I just don't trust Sam Darnold. I just can't do it.
You.
No one's. Did you know the Bears have like the 4th worst chance of the teams? 4th worst chance, Super Bowl odds, like winning it all in Vegas. Did you know that?
No,
So
no,
they don't believe in the Bears at all. The Packers are favored. So no one's going to pick the Bears except Bears fans. Yeah. Okay. Well, to recap, Mike thinks it will be, because we had to pick. I didn't really want to. He has the Texans, Eagles, Texans winning. I have Rams, Broncos, Rams winning already.
So I think if you put all that stuff down so we can make fun of each other later when it's, Steelers and I don't know.
It's not going to be Steelers Panthers. Don't worry. It will not be Steelers Panthers. I'm going to go back this week for our next show and look at our over-unders and see who did better and some of our predictions. We'll look at that. I know some over-unders I really, really screwed up on. But, the Packers were 9.5 and won 9 games. I thought that was a lock. Yeah. So, okay. What's left?
Somebody said that guy you traded for was going to get hurt, and anyway.
You said play 5 games.
Okay,
you said play 5 games. You said miss the playoffs. You said miss the playoffs. You said the Packers would miss the playoffs.
Yeah. They almost did. They're the 7th seed again.
They made it,
but they went to the playoffs. So I'll give them that. They went to the playoffs.
What 2 teams did you have in the Super Bowl again?
I think I had the Bengals and
2 teams that didn't make the playoffs. Maybe the Buccaneers.
Were there 2? Who else did I pick? I can't remember.
I think you picked the Buccaneers.
Oh, I did. You are right.
Hey, I didn't do much better. I had Ravens, Packers. So it wasn't much better. We'll do better next year. We promise. Okay. I think it's lights out this time.
Yes, it is. All right. I'm going to try the music in the background, but we've had a little bit of difficulty. So if it bleeds you out, I'll cut it off pretty quick. All right.
Okay.
Down, maybe that won't. We start at 10 and go to 1. Before we start this year, both agree that we hire Matt Nagy to be taken out from the back of the field. No.
There you are. I could not hear a word you were saying.
That's okay. So I just turned the music off, so we're good.
Oh, okay.
So can we both agree that if a team hires Matt Nagy, all of them should just be taken out back at the woodshed and just shot at point blank range with the largest caliber weapon you have?
No, I think they should be tortured. They should suffer.
Oh, okay. But aren't you? I'm almost positive somebody's going to do it because of the media pressure, and they're going to regret it.
They just talk him up like he's this amazing coach. He deserves another shot. Look what he's done with the Chiefs. It's like, first of all, the Chiefs offense stunk this year.
He doesn't call the plays.
He doesn't call the plays. The Chiefs offense stunk this year. He was horrible in Chicago, and for 3 years, he wasn't even mentioned. All of a sudden, oh yeah, he's great. They should hire him. Like, the media does this. They just try to pick who the next coach should be just because. And these teams, these owners see that in the interview. These owners, a lot of these owners are dumb. You and me should own a team. We do a lot better than most of these.
Yeah, problem is you got to have money to make money, and we ain't got any.
True, but if you and me were running the Jets or Browns over the last 30 years, I'm not saying that we win Super Bowls, but they'd be so much better run. You and me.
Yeah, we could do better.
We would, because you know what we do. Well, you would do. I don't know if I do. You would hire people smarter than you to run it. You would. No, but just think about this. Owners don't do that.
That was a great.
But the thing is, they make horrible decisions. Mm-hmm. Or Dan Snyder, when he owned the Redskins, he thought he was smarter than everyone. He would overrule his front office all the time because he thought, I'm a billionaire. I'm smarter than you. So,
pack right there. Pack. Passive aggressive cheese. Pack right there.
I'm not saying you're not smart. I'm saying you'd hire a really smart front office person.
That's not what I heard, but
to run your department. That's what I meant.
Yeah. Yeah, the media relations department that has nothing to do with the football team, right?
No, the royal you. The royal you, not you specific.
Okay.
The royal you.
Sounds good. Let's get into this list, man. I'll go first. Because I'm going to put a guy at the bottom of this list that I don't think you think is going to get a hire, but I'm going to put him there because I do think he'll get something that might not be a head coach.
Real quick, this is the top 10 candidates. If you're just joining us, the top 10 coaching candidates according to us. We did our top 10 list that we think should be hired. Go ahead.
If you're just joining us, where have you been?
I know. And you subscribe to my YouTube channel at Football with Cheese, CHEZ.
Right. And you should go over to the Lights Out Sports YouTube channel. And hey, you know what you should do? Hit the button that looks like that and subscribe and hit the bell for notifications so you never miss a video.
Nailed it.
Look at that. All
You're
right.
smart. You're very smart.
Stop it. I wasn't smart 5 minutes ago.
Smarter. You wouldn't
Smarter.
hire Andrew Berry. You would be smart enough not to hire Andrew Berry.
Well, wait a minute. So we're not podcasters. What are we? We're a smarter breed.
We're podists.
Podists.
Yes, we're sniffly better than podcasters. Yes.
Yes, we are. Yes. Okay, I like it. We're the royalty of podcasters. We're podists.
We don't podcast. We're
Potters.
potters. We're potters. We potter. Yes.
As long as we don't putter when we potter, I think we should be okay.
Okay.
Number 10 for me, coaches who I think will get. So the top 10 coaches that will fill some of these positions that are open right now. Jonathan Gannon for me is going to be number 10. Just let go by the Cardinals. I know, I see your eyes. So I'm going to put him at 10. It's a coffee mug. Thank you. I still think that he'll get something. Not sure if he'll get a head coaching spot, but I do think he'll probably get some kind of defensive coordinator thing before it's all said and done. But I think he has an outside shot at getting the head coaching job.
He won't get a head coach job, but I do think he's a good defensive coordinator. So, yeah, I'm going to go quick through this because I'm hungry and I have all this leftover chicken. Okay, my number 10 is Joe Brady. He's the offensive coordinator of the Bills. Okay, yes, they have Josh Allen, but I still like his play design. I still like the offense. They run the ball. A lot of offenses just give up on the run. He does not, even when they're behind. So I like that. I like his play calling. And they don't have a great receiver, like a number one receiver. So Joe Brady, offensive coordinator of the Bills. Number 10.
All right, so I'm going to go defensive coordinator of the Kansas City Chiefs next, Steve Spagnuolo. He's with the Chiefs. He's in a really good coaching tree there. And I think somebody will take a chance on him. So that's why I've got Steve Spagnuolo at number 9.
Thought about him, did not make my list. Number 9 is Anthony Campanile. He's the defensive coordinator of the Jacksonville Jaguars, was a linebacker coach for the Packers before that. That defense is night and day better with similar personnel. They were undisciplined last year. They missed assignments. I couldn't believe how bad that defense was last year. Complete opposite this year. He is a great motivator. It's a very disciplined defense. So I think he will be a future head coach. Maybe not this year, but future.
All right, my next guy is also going to be a defensive guy at number 8. The Colts defensive coordinator, Lou Anarumo. I think because of where the Colts and things were, even though they faltered and didn't make it into the playoffs, it wasn't because of their defense. They stayed strong, and I think somebody will take a chance on him possibly. So it goes Jonathan Gannon, Steve Spagnuolo, and Lou Anarumo so far.
More on him right now. Same, 8, Lou Anarumo. He's got the blame in Cincinnati, but the defense has just very little talent. Mm-hmm. Absolutely ridiculous. He did a great job with the Bengals when they actually had some talent. The Colts defense, once again, it's an okay group. It's not great. And he's just one of those guys. Like he can play man, play zone. Like he makes adjustments based on his personnel. So that tells me he's a very smart coach.
Sorry, sir. Ill-timed cough. I had to mute it. I didn't want to cough in the microphone that time.
Oh, okay. I was like, what happened? Okay.
Yeah, what happened to it?
All right, who's your number 7?
What happened there?
Who's your number 7?
My number 7, Slowick. This guy's growing on me.
Okay.
We talked about him a lot yesterday. One of our great fans on the comments brought him up, and I did some research on him. And you know what? I think he's, he used to be, like we've already said, he was with the Texans. He got let go. He took the blame for that, much like maybe what Cliff and the defensive coordinator for the Commanders just did today. So I think he's out there. I think he's still in some of those circles. And I'm going to put him at number 7 because I'm going to say this. If the Cardinals don't get Kevin Stefanski, I think Slowick's going to be their backup plan.
More on him now. If our top 8's the same, it's going to be crazy. Yeah, Bobby Slowick, number 7. I thought I put him like high. I was going to put him like I was like, I put him way too high. I should have put him like 9 or 10. But same thing. Like he such a great job with C.J. Stroud, such a good job with the Texans when they had an offensive line that could block anything. And, let's be honest, like the Dolphins probably overachieved this year. He was their passing game coordinator. So, what can you do with Tua? He's terrible. So, yeah, Bobby Slowick, I think he's going to be a head coach today. I have him number 7.
All right. Yeah, that's crazy. And I tell you what, this part too, he'll be, if the Cardinals go this route, he'll be much cheaper than Kevin Stefanski. That might be the weighing factor on which one of those two guys they bring in. So Slowick 7 for me. At number 6, Vance Joseph. Again, I'm doing a lot of defensive people, and I really didn't mean to, but that seems to be the guys that are up for the hire right now.
Yep.
So I really like Vance Joseph. I know he's had a couple of other opportunities, but let's give him another one and see what happens. I will put this caveat on him, though. I would not sign him to more than a 3-year deal.
Okay. More on him later. My number 6 is Matt Burke, the defensive coordinator of the Houston Texans. He's done a tremendous job, and he calls the defensive plays. D'Amico Ryans, you love this. The head coach doesn't call the plays. He doesn't call the plays. Matt Burke actually calls the defensive plays. Done a tremendous job with the Texans defense. It improved, too, throughout the season. So I really like that. Matt Burke, he's not probably the sexiest name out there, but I see him getting a head coaching job in the next few years.
I'm writing his name down. I'm going to look him up a little bit. Matt Burke. B-U-R-K?
E.
B-U-R-K-E. All right, I'm going to look him up, get some more stuff on him. I like that.
I kind of looked at him, and I'm like, well, he doesn't call defensive plays. Mika Ryans does, and then I looked that he does, and I looked at that he actually does call the defensive plays. So then he jumped on my list.
Okay.
So I had to ditch someone that you might have. We'll see.
Okay, we'll see. Well, I know you're not going to have this guy on your list because I said he was going to be the new Falcons head coach, and I thought you were going to lose your mind yesterday when we did our show that you can go back and watch on the Lights Out Sports Podcast YouTube channel. That is our show from yesterday. Here we go. Oh, he's already knowing. He knows what I'm going to say. I think he will be the new Falcons head coach. Brian Kelly, for me, is at number 5.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not going to drag it out. I'm just going to let it simmer out there.
Not a Brian Kelly fan, in case you didn't know. Number 5, you've already mentioned him. Vance Joseph. He's the defensive coordinator of the Broncos. Ironically, he used to be the head coach of the Broncos. But he was only there 2 years, and his quarterbacks, his first year was Brock Osweiler. His second year with the Broncos was Case Keenum. So he had a backup as his quarterback. So he deserves another shot. And he's done a great job with the Broncos defense. I think it's probably about 50-50 he gets a job. Vance Joseph, number 5.
All right. So this guy is the highest new person on my list because numbers 1, 2, and 3 are all going to be people who have had head coaching jobs before now. So, he should feel proud that he's this high on my list, and he is the guy with the least amount of coaching experience on this list. But that is this high. But it's because of his last name. It's because of his lineage, and it's because of the job that he's done in L.A. Chris Shula is my number 4 pick for the people who are most qualified to be a head coach this coming season in the NFL.
I just couldn't put him in the top 10. I just, he would have been probably 12 or 13 for me. Just couldn't make it, but he is definitely a hot name. Look out for the Giants with him. There's a rumor they really like him. Mm-hmm. Number 4, retread coach. It's funny. It's my last retread coach. The other 3 are not. It's Kevin Stefanski.
Our lists are not going to be the same.
Oh, no, definitely not. One of the people you have is I bumped him when I put on Matthew Burke. So, Kevin Stefanski is my number 4. It's amazing. He's only 11 games under 500 in 6 years with the Browns. 2 coach of the years. Couldn't put him higher because me, I love coordinators up and coming more than retread coaches. Otherwise, he probably would be higher, but I think he gets a job. I'd be shocked if he didn't. So Kevin Stefanski, former Browns coach, number 4.
All right. So we've each done our number 4s. Let's do the top 3 here. My number 3. Again, this is the guy who I said yesterday is going to go to the Tennessee Titans. I know he got fired today, but I really don't think it makes a whole lot of difference. Cliff Kingsbury, for me, is number 3. A really good offensive guru, does real well with quarterbacks. and the Titans need their offense to improve, and they've got a quarterback that is very young and impressionable right now, and I think Cliff can make a big difference there.
Watch out for him in Baltimore as well. He didn't make my top 10, though, but he would have been my top 15. Just didn't make my top 10. My number 3 is Jeff Hafley. He's the defensive coordinator of the Green Bay Packers. He's done a great job with the defense. He can play man. He can play cover 3. He adjusts based on what team he's playing. I love that. And he's a leader. You can just see his press conferences when he talks to the team. Like he is a natural leader. So I think he has a great chance to get a job. Hopefully, if Packers retain LaFleur, he doesn't get a job. But yeah, number 3, Jeff Hafley.
All right. And you said yesterday that would be the guy that you would hope that would take over for LaFleur if they end up letting him go, right?
Yeah, their personnel fits his style. Like, he's been there 2 years now. The way they've drafted and signed free agents the last couple of years are players that fit his scheme. So a lot of times when people get new coaches and new coordinators, you have to completely redo the personnel to fit the scheme. It takes a year or two. So they don't have to do that with him. But like I said, he's a leader, and he was the head coach at Boston College for many years. So
okay, so we like that. All right, excellent.
Yeah.
Again, another retread for me. So if you guys didn't get a chance to do it, you should go back and watch the show that we did, roughly about an hour. So it's not as, it's half of what this show is. But we did all of these Black Monday things, the hirings, the firings, and who we thought were going to do what. My number 2 guy is the guy that I think is going to be hired by the Las Vegas Raiders. We should also say this right here. What did you send me? The Athletics got revoked for a bunch of different names. That's kind of crazy. Hold on, you sent it to me. Let me grab it real quick. They got knocked out for names like where are you in the
Las Vegas Athletics? They can't be the Las Vegas Athletics. The patent was rejected.
Yeah, so they got the Las Vegas Athletics patent was rejected, and the Vegas Athletics was rejected by the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office.
So I don't know what they're going to have to do. They're going to have to change their nickname? I don't know.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. They're just going to have to call them the Elephants or something, I guess. I don't know.
Expos.
The Expos.
We're bringing the Expos back.
There we go.
Yeah.
It's just going to be in a different city, but we're going to bring back the Expos. I like it.
Well, what about Vegas? It could be the Las Vegas slot machines. It could be the Las Vegas call girls.
There you go. I'm liking this. Yes. The Strip. That's what we'll
The
call
Blue
it. The
Man
Las
Group.
Vegas Strip.
The Blue Man Group.
Oh, man.
What is that? What is that thing where the people are on top like limbs? What is it called? Cirque du Soleil.
Oh.
The Las Vegas Cirque du Soleil. Anyway,
we got to grab this show and bring it back. Hang on, let's grab it with both hands.
Bring it back.
Bring it back. Bring it back. Brian Flores will be hired by the Las Vegas Raiders. So he's my number 2 guy on this list. I think that the Tom Brady tree is going to come back for them. He's going to be a big influence on that since he owns part of the team. It's a minuscule part, but still a part of the team. And I think Brady's going to use his influence to make that happen.
Yeah, he's the one I got bumped. He was 10. I had to bump him to 11. The reason I didn't have him higher is because he had a pending lawsuit in the NFL. He felt like he was only getting interviews to
satisfy the Rooney Rule.
To satisfy the Rooney Rule. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
But also when he was the Dolphins head coach, he rubbed a lot of veterans the wrong way. A lot of people did not like playing for him. So I just decided to move him down and then eventually off the list. But he is a tremendous defensive coordinator. He's one of the best defensive coaches in the NFL. Okay. My number 2 is Jesse Minter. He's the defensive coordinator of the Chargers. He followed Jim Harbaugh from Michigan, was the defensive coordinator there. Every year his defense is amazing. Every year they seem to be great. And the Chargers don't have a lot of great they don't have a lot of talent on the defense. It's average at best. And they still are a good defense every year. So I think he's destined to get a job within the next couple of years.
I would be shocked if my number 1 guy does not get a job in the NFL this year, unless it's by his own volition, that he doesn't, maybe he wants to go to TV or he wants to do something else. Everybody's going to be knocking on Kevin Stefanski's door, and I think he's going to go. I said yesterday that he will go to the Arizona Cardinals. Maybe that's just me crossing my fingers and hoping that that's what happens. But I would not be upset with Slowick either. So I hopefully the Cardinals will hire one of those two people. But regardless, I think Kevin Stefanski will be a head coach in the NFL next year if he chooses to do so. So he's my number one guy.
Side note: we did this list before John Harbaugh was fired. Otherwise, John Harbaugh would be my number one. So we both did this list before that. So anybody, if you want to make a comment, what about John Harbaugh? We already had prepared this list. So,
and to be honest, I don't think John Harbaugh is going to do a coaching thing next year. I think he's going to go to TV or something like that. I do. I think he'll sit out for a season or two.
He would have been in my top 5 if I had if I'd done the list before or after before he's fired. Okay. Recap. Number 10, Joe Brady, offensive coordinator of the Bills. Number 9, Anthony Campanile, defensive coordinator of the Jaguars. Lou Anarumo is number 8, defensive coordinator of the Colts. Number 7, Bobby Slowick, passing game coordinator for the Dolphins. Matt Burke at 6, defensive coordinator of the Texans. Number 5, Vance Joseph, defensive coordinator of the Broncos. Number 4, Kevin Stefanski, just got fired as head coach of the Browns. 3, Jeff Hafley, defensive coordinator of Packers. 2, Jesse Minter, defensive coordinator of Chargers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 defensive coordinators. Yeah, a lot of defense. My number 1 is Clint Kubiak. He's the offensive coordinator of the Seattle Seahawks. He's done a tremendous job with that offense. I love everything about it. I love the play calling. I love the commitment to the run, the play action, play design. His dad was Gary Kubiak, so he coached his son. He did such a good job with the Saints when he was their offensive coordinator when they didn't have a lot of talent. So to me, he'd be a great fit in Atlanta. They should hire him. So Clint Kubiak, number 1.
All right. So fantastic. I appreciate that list. Let's go over a few things. This coming Monday, we're going to do our awards show. We're going to do that at, what it'd be, 6 o'clock my time, 5 o'clock your time, right? That's what we decided on?
5 o'clock your time, 6 my 7 Eastern,
sure,
4 Pacific. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on Monday. The awards will not take more than we will keep it less than 40 minutes probably because 45 for sure. The game starts at 8:15 Eastern. We'll be done well before the Texans-Steelers game. Lead into that. Where, who knows, I may change my mind and pick the Texans. You never know. But
you just never know.
Monday at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, we'll do a special award show. And if there's any awards you want us to do, like quirky awards, like out there that they don't do outrageous, let us know on our X. Let us know in the comments. And, we'll do that.
Absolutely. I want to talk about the guest that we will have 1 week from tonight. Again, that is Tommy Bennett. He does baseball scoops. He does that for Substack. He also does at Beyond the Monster, MNSTR is how he spells it. He is part of the Pesky Podcast. He's a big Boston Red Sox guy, New Jersey Devils, and he's also a Diamondback guy as well. So we will talk Boston Red Sox specifically, and then we'll talk Major League Baseball in general with Tommy right here on the Lights Out Sports Podcast next week. Make sure you tune in. And of course, I was waiting. I thought Cheese would jump right in there, but that's okay.
No, I have nothing more to say.
Yes, you do. You got to plug that. You got to plug your spots at least one more time, man. Come on, it's only been like 2 or 3.
Yeah, Football with Cheese on YouTube. I did a few shameless ones. Always got to get that in there.
Yeah, of course.
At Football with Cheese, CHEEZ. I'm almost at 500 subscribers. Been growing really fast.
Excellent.
So make sure you subscribe and on X at Football Cheese. So yeah, make sure you follow me on X as well. And anything crazy happens, any more firings, I will do an instant reaction. So make sure you hit that bell. Not only subscribe, hit the bell so you never miss one of my videos. And make sure, if you're on YouTube, if you haven't hit the thumbs up on this, make sure you do so.
All right, fantastic. You can also go over to our YouTube channel. You guys have been doing it. Like I said it yesterday. Over the weekend, we had almost 12,000 views. We got a lot of shorts going up. We did a lot of our shorts from the show from yesterday. We'll do more shorts from this show today. I'm sure that'll be a meme. So we will be able to do all of that. We appreciate all of you doing things with us. The Red Hot Reds did their show on Sunday. We put a few of their shorts over on our channel too, because all of us are in this big collective group called All Sports, or no, daggone it, All Gloves Off Sports Media. I was jumping to the sports part because that's the most important part to me. So All Gloves Off Sports Media. It is the Lights Out Sports Podcast. It is Football with Cheese. It is Sirhan on Sports, who is coming soon. And it is also the Red Hot Reds podcast. And we're soliciting a few more people. We are on Spotify. We are on Apple Music. We are on X. We are on YouTube. We are everywhere, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't want to listen to us, it's not because you're not trying, because we're everywhere.
Are we on MySpace?
We used to be, but it's archaic now. So yeah, Justin Timberlake bought that, and it's over.
Okay.
MySpace. Listen to you. Brings back memories though, because I used to do a lot. I thought MySpace was so cool back in the day.
I never did a MySpace.
No, you never did that? You could, do the little codes, and you could change the word colors and make it flash and all. I thought I was so cool, way back when. 30 years ago when I was in my 20s. Thought. Past tense.
30 or 40 years ago, yeah.
Yes, sure. That's what we'll go with. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, we certainly appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you all very much for being with us. Cheese, anything you want to, any melted cheese you want to put on the top of this this salad, this taco salad, before we let everything go?
No, it's a great time of year with college football playoff, NFL, and we're gonna try to do more shows. But like I said, we're gonna do an extra one Monday for you guys. So I appreciate all the support.
Fantastic. So, for those of you who have just joined us, again, where in the world have you been? We did the college football playoff. We did a couple of MLB things. We did a lot of NFL this week because of all of the playoff things going on. So we love you. We appreciate you. We thank you for being subscribers and viewers. And if there's anything that we're doing wrong, it's all Cheese's fault. All right, guys. So that's it. We appreciate each and every one of you. And of course, as we always say at the end of every show, every week, the only thing that's fair in life is a baseball hit between the third and first base lines. We love you. We appreciate you. Good night, everyone.